welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 my favorite gamer. Where's tonight's or today's afternoon's Friday, Floundering Friday today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys doing all fine and dandy today. Um, I'm sorry that I'm late. I was busy tar wrangling earlier, but that's just the excuse because I'm a woman. But other than that, yeah, what really matters is that yes, I am late, and I am gay. Yes, yes. There's no way around it. I truly am just late and gay, just like Latina. You like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. It's permanent. It's terminal. Okay, I just send me into the conversion therapy camp already. Electrocute my asshole. And then I'll be maybe ready to go. I'm ready to go and be normal again. Oh, there. Hello, Mall and Chat. Well, hello, Rumble Pros. Hello, my NWAs over there. I hope you guys are doing good. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Void late is void nature. Think nothing of it. Why, of course, of course. Actually, like in my family, it's an actual problem with the women. Every single woman in my family is just late. And the sad thing is, I'm actually the better of the women in my family. Like my mom, when she was alive, she would be like a good half an hour to 45 minutes late to like anything. Like that she would do. There's also she couldn't keep a job because of that, but no surprise there. No surprise there. And then my sister that kind of acts like an Enwa, she is hours late, like a good hour to two late to the various things. Now with her husband in tow, they've gotten a lot better and actually have showed up early a few times. It's a miracle. But that's a more recent development, and she is twice my age. So at least, so there's that. And then my oldest sister, um, she's she was a bit better back in the day before she was sick. She was like a good 10 minutes late to stuff. So like by far the best, right? When it came to the situations. If that's something like a lot of times, especially when it was like work related, she was actually like at least on time. But then she got sick, and since then it's just kind of been all over the place when to expect there. She just she'll show up when she shows up. How about that? But like at least she's got the excuse that she's got the illness, right? And then there's me, and I'm like 5 to 10 minutes late on average. So not exactly great. Not exactly great. Not something to be proud of, right? But I still by far the best with the woman in my family here. Working on African time. Yeah, true and real, true and real. But I guess maybe this is how it's actually revealed that I actually am black. Like, guys, I've been pretending to be a white ginger Irish girl this whole entire time. I'm really darker than the night sky, pure like Vanta black, coal skin, African, from like Bimbu Ooga Booga land, over in Africa there. Uh, there. Um, so, it's just, there's no way out of it. There's no way out of it. Even my dad has gotten a little bit late when his older age, like a good 5 minutes or stuff. But no, that's not very common. He still usually is early or on time. And I remember how many fights my mom and my dad got into because they were constantly late. It was great. No, the day turns to night when she leaves the house. Exactly. More true than you think here. As she stood against the building, she looked like an alley. Well, if it's a gravel alley, I'm not like an alien. But if it's like a blacktop, it's a different story. So, I figured you'd be the punctual type. Not really. Like, I try my best. And I never really I'm not really late to work very often. Like when I had like a real job, usually they're like 5 minutes early, Because I thought office job we were required to be there 5 minutes before we like officially opened. Um, and I would get there in between the 5 minutes to like 2 minutes before, which was like everybody else's averages because it's an office job. Literally, all you have to do is just sit down and boot up your computer. If your computer needs to restart, you're kind of fucked. But at the same time, like that was every once in a blue moon that would happen, so you're kind of all good. And there's a few times I might have showed up right at 8 a.m. There's a few times that may or may not have happened there. But any time after 8 was rare. Um, how many welfare checks do you get? Well, we got one for me, one for my dad, one for my dog, one for my dead mom still. Um, let's see. Probably a few more than that. You were late for work just now. Fuck. Oh shit, you got me there. Poor actual, I'm not even joking. Maul's like the redheaded stepchild like us in chat. Yeah, well, more true than you think too. Where I used to do the 7-minute early punch-in. See, that's a bit too early, right? Like, listen, I like my sleep. See, that's my big thing, is that I like sleeping a lot. And so I will try to get as many milliseconds of sleep that I can possibly get. And I've made my morning routine ridiculously efficient when I was a kid, because I was the same thing for school. Like, I didn't want to go to school, and I wanted as much sleep as possible, but I also didn't want to be late. So I was able to break down and actually time to my morning routine for how long it takes for me to do various things, and then I would try to combine some certain stuff. So like one thing I still do to this day is that I get changed on the toilet. Like I put my clothes on as I'm peeing, sitting there. Or when I was younger, there was a brief time period where I would brush my teeth while I was peeing on the toilet. Then I felt after a while I was just like, you know what, this is probably unsanitary, so I should probably stop doing this. But it was, once again, trying to maximize efficiency here. So I just, and then there was actually during that time period too, I was brushing my teeth and also getting changed. That didn't really work out too well, so I eventually did one or the other. Oh. Until I was able to, like, figure out what I could do at the same time as doing other things to try to maximize my sleep. So I knew how long it would take me to get dressed and out the door. And if I didn't have to shower in the morning, because I would flip between like showering at night and showering in the morning, depending on the situation and what was going on, how lazy I was. I could get dressed and out the door in like 15 minutes. Yeah. But by the time I rolled out of bed, I would put my dog outside. While he was doing his business, I was getting ready. And then I would, he would bark when he's ready to go back inside and, carry on and go to work or go to school, whatever the case is. Yeah, pretty unsanitary. Yeah. That sounds super autistic, to be honest. It's just laziness. Like, I'm assuming it's the whole, like the phrase of the laziest people, or the most efficient, or something along those lines. But like the thing is, I'm not even that efficient when it comes to like other things. I just was able to master it for having to do that every single day for years. That I figured that out. But for everything else, I mean, I do try to maximize efficiency, but like, I say maximize. That's probably not the right word. I do try to be efficient. How about that? But to I don't know, go that mile for things is not very common for me. Oh, thank you, Dalek. Daleks are supreme. Daleks are supreme. Okay, sorry. I was like, Daleks are. I know what a Dalek is. I fucking hated them in Doctor Who. Though the Cybermen and actually no, I didn't hate them. They were okay, but it was the Cybermen and Weeping Angels that freaked me the fuck out in Doctor Who. Also, the library ghost shadow things. From River's whole side story there. Anyways, thank you, Daleks are supreme. for the $20 reduce. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very generous and kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No. So, justice for Henry Nowak. Yeah, I, I hope so. Nothing's gonna happen, in my personal opinion, because I'm doomered and blackpilled and all that fun stuff, right? But I I hope for the best. I mean, at this point, like Elon's talking about him, and making a big thing. I know Restore Britain and Ripper Lowe's been talking about it for a while now. Reform is trying to like grift off of him. Probably shouldn't say grift, but like they're trying to. I saw there's a reform candidate that was trying to use his death to push about that the immigration policy, knowing full well they're not actually going to do anything about it. But that's because I don't like reformer Nigel Farage. But there, it sucks. It sucks. I know we talked about the situation on a previous stream. Let's see, what's today's Friday? So I think it was Monday we covered the story there. And oh my god, yeah, it was Monday because I played that fucking clip from Tommy Robinson. I don't have it pulled up because I had to clear my tabs. I'll be proud of me, Chad. I fucking clear my tabs finally. But Tommy Robinson had the audacity to do an interview with Tyler Oliveira. And I haven't seen the full thing, I fully admit, but there was this clip coming from it where he's like, "Oh yeah, this Muslim town. Oh, there's not even a single British person anymore. They completely invaded and they're awful." And then Tyler was like, "Well, if they were Sikhs, would you be okay with it?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, Sikhs are great. They immigrate into Britain. They're just as British as I am. They're harmless. All this other fun stuff." And then it's like, oh, then the story comes out, the Sikh brutally murdering Henry Nowak. And it's like, oh, okay, so what happened to them immigrating, assimilating properly, and, all the other fun stuff that you just said there? Oh, and it turns out this wasn't the first time that a Sikh has killed somebody with their ceremonial knife that they are allowed to carry around because religious reasons. Like, oh, okay, yeah, so about them, yeah, I think they should be deported too. They're just Indians, but with towel heads. So, the only reason Sikhs seem harmless is because there are not many of them. Yeah, they're far and few between. And they mostly keep to themselves here. Nigel sucks, immigrant cock. Yeah, I mean, Keir Starmer. Sorry, I got distracted with something. I see. Anyway, Keir Starmer has supposedly been lowering the immigration a little bit, because even he recognizes that it needs to be done. Like the Starminator and memes and like Hail Starmer memes have been fucking hilarious to me. Like I'm not gonna come out and like defending Keir Starmer here for anything in particular, but at the same time, like, even he knows that he has to do something about the immigration stuff because it's such a hot topic, and that's why Reform was winning in the local elections with leaps and bounds and just absolutely BTFO'd Labor. And so, he's been slowly but surely working on it. And I kind of rather have him be the prime minister than, like, any other Labor candidate at the moment because I don't trust the rest of the Labor Party. Like, after Jeremy Corbyn, and then, fuck, I always forget her name, but the brown woman with two left feet. Fuck. And then there's a few others there. That like I can recognize their faces or their names, but putting them together is kind of a little bit more difficult for me. There. And it's just like, yeah, no, maybe Starmer's probably the best bet if we're gonna have a Labour Prime Minister. Which is painful for me to say, because it's not like he's a good person or anything like that. But the sad fact is, there's worse people in Labour, so... yeah. Starmer's been kind of going off lately. Yeah, kind of, actually. Jingle keys, yeah. If I see movement on my screen, I'm like, squirrel! No, like, I see, like, oh my god, that's a problem that I have. That I hate, that I actively try to fix. Like, if there's a TV on in the background and somebody's talking to me, I have to, like, use all my willpower just to focus on the person, because I see the moving pictures on the screen, and I'm like, I like, it gets to my attention, and I want to watch that. And so I'm like, okay, I'm a mall, okay, just focus on the person and the words that they're saying, not the pretty pictures. And then I try to have a conversation with him. Like, it's annoying. I'm sure I'm sure it's probably like a normal human thing, but it still bothers me. So I'm trying to rage against my own machine here. Didn't Steimer have an even lower approval rating than Maduro? Yes, he did. Yes, he fucking did. But that might change, seeing that he's kind of doing some good things, sort of. I mean, only just with the immigration stuff, but then again, a lot of the policies as he's enforcing came out of conservatives. I'm sounding like I'm defending um Keir Starmer, but I'm not trying to. It's just that he sucks and the conservatives suck and they all work together and have one massive orgy with each other to fuck over the British people. Late all the time, easily distracted. This is ADHD, mall. I mean, frankly, like, I don't like the whole ADHD or autism or OCD or whatever the fuck. It's I mean, I'm not saying I don't like it. Okay, that's probably not the right phrasing for it. Like, I know a lot of times it's used as a joke, and it's really not that deep. But it's I feel like it's part of the problem with the internet is this whole normification of like mental illnesses is the like Tumblrification of it. Like, look at me, I'm so unique and quirky for having depression and anxiety. Oh, everyone has depression and anxiety. Okay, well now I have ADHD and OCD. Okay, everyone has ADHD and OCD. Okay, now I have the autism. Okay, I know everyone has the autism. Okay, now I'm bipolar and schizophrenic. Oh, okay, well everyone's bipolar and schizophrenic. Now I'm trans! Respect my pronouns. Okay, well, calm down there. Calm down there. Everyone's their own special little snowflake. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I'll send you to the penis explosion chamber later. It's fine. But for now, calm down. And it's just like I think people just have their own quirks. Like, I'm not saying ADHD doesn't actually exist or autism or whatever the case is, but I do think that it's become so oversimplified and generalized now that typical little like flaws within humans or just natural behavioral patterns, because you know humans aren't perfect or whatever the case is, just get summed up into some quirky little mental fucking issue. And it's not that deep, actually. You're just retarded, or you're just late and gay, or you're just easily distracted because you're a zoomer and you got your brain fried by TikTok. Like, it's just that. It's just that. But first off, people are being generous to me. So Rubber Band Jiggle Physics, thank you for celebrating your sub, Bobby, for 11 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How does it feel to be born for 2 months now? Are you able to walk yet? No? Well, get on it, or I'm gonna fucking whip you like the NWA that you are. Anyways, and thank you, No Robos, for the 1,000 warp tokens. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Would you be interested in reacting to Leaflet's new song, Being Prejudiced is Awesome? Has a reference to Irina and the Sikh stabbing? I mean, sure. I mean, you sent me 1,000 warp tokens and I'm a cheap whore, so if you want me to react to it, I can. Even though I'm cool with Leaflet last I checked, usually I still try to avoid the VTuber kind of stuff, but I mean, I rate her all the time, so it's really not that different. Just you know, I'm only saying something because I don't want people to expect me to commentate on various VTuber subjects when it's related to specific people or whatever the case is. I would like to hold somewhat of a boundary, but at the same time, 10,000 warp tokens is 10,000 warp tokens, and I do like Leaflet, so... There. Have a good stream, Amal. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good stream. We're all having, you know, fun and games here. I thank you, see you all for the $10 redos. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Friday all. We're almost into the weekend, and a long weekend at that. Oh yeah, it's Memorial Day this weekend. Oh, I have things to do this weekend. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. I'll be celebrating with my family on Sunday, and I need to make another cake. All I do is make box cakes, right? I'm not even like making fancy cakes or whatever the case is, but they really like me making cakes. I'd rather cook than bake. But hey, It's something that I can do to help the family out because they basically everybody else takes care of the cooking anyways. So yeah, I have to make a cake after stream tomorrow. Yeah, on Saturday, I'll be making another cake. There. And then I know there was something else I missed. Yes. Jazook, or maybe it should be Yazook. Hmm. I'm not exactly sure, but Jazook, Taizago, thank you for resubbing Bubby for 2 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dude. Looks like it was off stream, so, if I see you in chat, I will try to thank you again. There. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. So, does Archcat count as a VTuber? No, he's a PNG tuber. You know, the original OG uh VTuber. Oh, there. So, don't brush your teeth while making cake, please. I won't. I won't. These days, I don't even brush my teeth anymore. It's fine. Um. um. Just bake the cake on stream. No. I'm not doing that. I am too scared I'm gonna accidentally dox myself. Like with it. Like even if I just do a hand cam, right? The light will bounce off the reflection of the stovetop and reveal my butt fuck ugly face. And it's like, no, I'd rather that. I'd rather not. I'd rather not. Too much a risk. There. So, what kind of cake is it? German chocolate cake. It's gonna look like dog shit. I can't wait for it. No. But let me pull up the video that No Robos wants me to react to. Since he did pay the shekel tax. Um. Oh, is Tilder's back and alive? I know he released a video recently. There, but sorry. I'm getting easily distracted once again. But I'm just like, oh, Teal I remember him. I was a big fan of him until he flew too close to the sun on YouTube with his COVID stuff. And then he got fucking nuked. And then he stopped uploading. But he's been slowly kind of coming. I was following him on Minds for a while. But Minds was such a shitty fucking platform. But I'm not sure. I doubt they've changed it because I've seen that it's not popular. But then Elon buying Twitter kind of defeated the point of any alternative platforms there. But anyway, I kind of want to stream snipe it just out of curiosity because I just want to see what he's like these days. But once again, that's a me. That's a me getting easily distracted here. So, okay, being prejudiced is awesome. Okay, let me. Oh shit, I forgot about this. I forgot. No, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. And then also this is what I no, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. There we go. Okay, I'm slowly but surely figuring it out how to work my stream. I've been streaming for a year and a half, but I still haven't figured out how to stream. It's great. And then I keep on forgetting that I have to change my Brave capture every single time, and the audio capture. One of these days, I will get into the habit of doing this before stream, but not today. Yeah. So, yeah, but he's not fun like he used to be. No, he's not. But he used to be so funny. Like, that was the great thing about it. Is that, like, he was able to make really succinct and, like, good points within, like, layers upon irony and sarcasm. It was hilarious, but also very depressing. Like, because I used to have a category like political YouTubers I would watch that I would watch them more for entertainment, like Chris Ray Gun and Shoe on Head. But like for Teal there, he was like the in between because especially when it came to the COVID stuff, like it was just so depressing and frustrating that like even though he was making it really funny, the situation was so fucking shitty that it was just like There. Oh. So. Okay. Let me get the shekel shaker going. Okay. I had a very Jewish idea right now. I had a very, very Jewish idea. and I don't know if I'm going to implement it or not. Because on one hand, it feels kind of scummy. On the other hand, it would work to my benefit. I will decide later. Oy vey! Oh, okay, well, let's carry on here. If it loads.
スロース、お前は私を失望させたぞ。
主よ、文化が大きく移り変わりつつあります。我々は今、はるかに弱くなっています。ステラ、ヒューマニストどもが集結し始めています。最悪なことに、パステルステラまで。
黙れ、クワングリッド。
はい、主よ。
やれ、ステラヒューマニストもの希望を叩き潰せ。
もちろんです。
She's got a very pretty design. Like, purple's not my favorite color. But the purple, the gold, and the green mixed with the black is quite nice. Like, I like that little zoom in with it. Here, not the zoom in, sorry, this is the zoom up. I kind of want to, like, look at the details. Especially since this is made with the AI here. Like, how detailed it actually can get. Plus, like, I'm sure it's probably one big picture, and then it's the editing program that goes in and makes the slow upping, like, thing. But at the same time, the fact that the AI can actually get these details correct multiple times and make it into an actual standalone video is pretty insane. Anyways, sorry.
もちろんです。直ちに出発いたします。骨の奥にあるの秘密のコード。迷い道でも一人じゃないよ。ピコピコ頭のコンピューターが暗い路地裏の危険を読むの偏見。プレスプリスって誰かが言うけれど、昔の人はそれで生き延びたんだよ。姿勢と足音デザインを見て、パターンレコグニッション is a superpower.
I mean, it is. Like, you need, like, above either a 90 or 95 IQ. I can't remember. Also, that is scandalous right there, especially for Twitch. Oh my god, that's full. That's basically a vag bone right there. We got the vagina bones in this bitch. But okay, I get distracted by the vagina bones. But it's like you need a 90 or 95 IQ to actually recognize patterns, and the vast majority of the world is under 90 IQ. Like, like American blacks have an average IQ of 85, Indians are 76, Somalians are 68. Like the lowest IQ is in like Liberia with 45, which by the way, Liberia has the exact same constitution as America does, as where we sent our slaves during a brief period of time after the Civil War. Anyways, no point to be made there whatsoever. Like, the vast majority of the world is actually quite literally retarded. They had to change the definition of mental retardation in the 70s because of the fact, like, it used to be below 85, but they had to change it under 75 because of the Africans, Americans, you know, our fellow NWAs, all that fun stuff. So, pattern recognition quite literally is a superpower. If you have it, you are part of, like, the top 10% of the world right there.
だけど大人たちは脳を洗い流したがるの。データを見るのはいけないことだよってみんなで仲良しお手手をつないで悪い狼さんもかばっちゃうの。That is a losing game. 本能のおかげで息をしてるの。ニコニコ笑って負けないで。ニコニコ笑って血を流さないで。Protect yourself, don't get killed down by
Around blacks never relax.
There is a difference between cruelty and clarity. Break free, don't lose the game. 仲間だからって悪いやつバッドアクターを守るの。それじゃあ自分で怪物を育ててるよ。 みんなの嘘でグループがぶつかり合うの自分の文化は大好きだけど変な失言プレマシーは愚かだよスーツのモーガンは完全なエリート
See, not to criticize Leaflet here, but the problem is that everyone is racist and has an in-group preference except for white people. Like, it's been statistically shown that white people do not have the same in-group preference as the others do. Like, they see basically all the races relatively as equal, and we're the only ones that have. Every other race, black, Asian, mixed, whatever the case is, you find that it's not white, will always favor their own over, well, especially whites, but for other races as well. And it sounds like even she says in the earlier in the video that like holding hands is not the solution here. And I'm not saying like supremacy is really the option as well, but if whites are the only ones sacrificing themselves by not having an in-group preference while everyone else is, it's a losing game. And here, so like and let me go back on some of these lyrics here. Um, Sorry, I'm doing frame by frame. So what a stupid take supremacy is retarded. Okay, let me go back to the previous one. That's but I love my culture. I'm trying to go by frame so I'm not missing anything. Everyone's lies make the groups crash into each other. That's just natural. That literally is natural for everyone to be racist. Like, I mean, once again, she's saying this in the song that pattern recognition is a superpower. That uh, um, that you have these instincts for a reason, and the problem is multiculturalism is a failure. Like, it does not work. Everyone needs a homogeneous society to live in. Even if it's a failed society, like in the case of Africa and the various countries there, and all the problems they have, it's still widely superior for them and preferential for them personally because it's their people and their culture and their languages. And then even if whites do come in and actually give them the wheel, obviously it's caused nothing but tension, and they're griping and complaining about the whole situation. It's just natural to not actually get along with everybody, and it's just not physically possible there. And this line in particular, I think. Sorry, I'm trying to go frame by frame once again. Um, just because they're your group, you protect a bad actor. Once again, that's only something that white people don't do. Everyone else protects their own group. You see it with like Carmelo Anthony after he stabbed Austin McCaff last year. Or this Joshua Fox guy that attacked Chud the Builder. Though I know Chud the Builder is harder for some people to defend. Or basically, or George Floyd, for example. And those obviously within the black community. But even like the Indians and their Izat, the whole like Izat's completely made to protect themselves. Like everyone protects their own except for whites. We're the only ones that I would actually give up our own son if they try to assassinate somebody or successfully assassinate somebody, like what happened with Charlie Kirk's with the guy who did that with Charlie Kirk. So I would like that we could actually all have responsibility and not protect our bad actors, but we kind of have to because we have to learn to protect our own to a certain degree. It depends on how bad the actor really is, right? If it's like a pedophile or a rapist or a murderer, whatever the case is, then obviously I still think whites should throw them under the bus because they are shitty, and that is a superpower that white people have. But you're not going to get this, you're not going to be able to talk this sense into any other racial group other than maybe certain Asians. And once again, certain Asians, because they're not all created equal. The Japanese are not the same as the Chinese. The Chinese are not the same as the, North Koreans and, all the other fun stuff that goes into it. So it just we have to work with ourselves and our own people as best as possible here. Hmm. no, force them to conform to our civilized ways, not the other way around. That's impossible. That's literally impossible unless you have the whip and the gun to their head, which we tried that for a while, and it sort of kind of worked. But then we got our liberal Western sensibilities up in ourselves, and we kind of ruined that. So it's once again basically impossible. Hmm. Well, everyone defends the tiny mustache man except for the whites. Well, that's because he hated all races equally. Mm. That was a joke, by the way. But still. Mm. So, no, honestly, if the guy is done bad, they should be punished. But should probably everyone, especially since you're in a multicultural society. Well, that's the point. Like obviously, I'm still saying that we should punish people within our own group, but we have to recognize that only white people are going to be pushing people up, punishing the criminals outside of our group equally. And even then, it's still not actually happening because they're not going to do it. How many black female judges have let, career criminals go just because they're fellow blacks, or give them less than sentences, or just community service, or a really cheap bond to get out of jail? Like, it happens all the fucking time here. And even then, white judges still do the same thing because they don't want to be considered racist. Um, there was a story recently that I covered to compare it with Chud the Builder because the situation's insane. Where a guy murdered and then abused the corpse of a white girl, and his bond was only $15,000. And it's just like, okay, so this guy literally murdered somebody, and then he abused her corpse. Everyone says he raped her corpse, but when I read the article, then it didn't say anything about rape. And abuse of corpse could mean rape, or it could be heavy mutilation, or various other horrible things you can do to a corpse. Because it's a kind of a catch-all, semi vague term. But regardless, he played with her corpse, and only a $15,000 bond. There. Like, the double standard is insane. But it's all not for white people, though. You get the book and then some thrown at you. And I know I'm not, once again, not trying to criticize Leaflet here. You know, like, she's doing the Lord's work. Her AI videos are amazing. She's making good points. But it's just not, unfortunately, we can't use this standard and apply it to nuns other than certain Asians. I know she's actually Asian as well. So, you know, like, obviously certain non-whites can, but they're far and few between. Once again, the Chinese don't do this. Like, the Japanese do. Just gonna point that out there. Anyway, we'll actually continue watching the video.
ぶつかり合うの自分の文化は大好きだけど変な失言シュプレマシーは愚かだよスーツのモーガンは完全なエリート暗い道のギャングはハイハイ逃げて Allowing only some people for religious exemption That's retarded Demand fairness because self-preservation belongs to everyone right now
It's not possible. Just not possible. Well, I do like that reference to Henry Nowak since, the super chatter brought it up earlier. About the whole religious exemptions and stuff like that. Like, it'd be nice if we could actually apply the same standards since we do live in a multicultural society, but it's simply just not possible. Because if soon as you get the black judge in, or a white judge, or just a little bit too left-leaning, white man that's not exactly a Giga Chad, well, whatever the case is, you will have preferential treatment. There's actually why a lot of third world countries that have like India, for example, and I don't want to be defending India here, but they got rid of jury trials because they have so many different ethnic and religious differences in India because it is a subcontinent. That they found out that they weren't able to actually have a fair trial. Thanks to it. Same thing happens in the United States. Like O.J. Simpson, like oh my god, that photo of the white people looking so despondent and the blacks cheering when he was, considered free. Or even with, once again, Derek Chauvin, the guy who supposedly murdered George Floyd with a knee on his neck when he actually just died of a fentanyl overdose. There was multiple black people that infiltrated the jury trial one particular actually went out and did an interview and said that he lied, saying he knew nothing about Black Lives Matter and nothing about the case whatsoever, and he purposely did to join the jury trial so he could try to push more Black Lives Matter talking points and get Derek Chauvin incarcerated for what he did, because once again, like, we're not going to be able to have a fair trial in a multicultural society no matter what.
来ようと未来は進んでゆくの私たちのドライブは肌の色じゃないことと思いと夢でできているんだよだけどみんなが同じだと思っていたら君のドライブにはずっと出会えない怪物だらけの電車に喜んで
I do like the pairings for this, like the zombie versus the vampire, and then the OnlyFans horror, with the more regular VTubers, and then the monkey VTuber Banana Juju with the sloth. Just I like how, like, you know, the mythical creatures and then the animal creatures and then like the woman, all that fun stuff. Those are actually pretty good pairings. There. I'm not sure there's any actual deeper meaning behind that, because I don't really pay attention to VTubers and the culture and stuff like that. It was just like keep like reaction to this is, you know, far and few between. Though it's becoming a little bit more common this past week in particular. But anyways, there. But I just like that. It's nice and interesting here.
There is a difference between holding and clarity. Don't lay down and die. Input to update. Don't be stupid. Trust your research.
The battle for our future can real anime. Like, it is insane how good this actually is. Like, I know it's, like, the art style is different than Skybrow's stuff. But, it's, like, maybe if I did, like, a frame by frame, I can maybe see the artifacts. Oh, speaking of Skybrowsers, there's the Basculus there. I noticed it earlier, but now that I simply paused upon it, it's even better. This is fucking cool as shit. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. The AI is just amazing. And the amount of effort you have to do to make it as accurate as it is. And then you have to like edit it together too. And then you have to make the music. I think my only criticism is really kind of the music. And this is not like Leaflet's fault in particular. It's just that AI music is so repetitive. Yeah, AI music is just so repetitive that the voices are the same, the beats are kind of all the same. I know some people be like, oh, well, music in itself is repetitive, and it's just like, no, like, you could make pretty crazy different stuff with music with actual artists. Let's just say actual artists, because that sounds a bit mean. And I know there is a formula to it, at least make the popular music for like the radio, and I get that. But the AI in particular, like, it has the voices. The voices are all the same. And it irritates me, because I am, like, I love music dearly. I listen to it all the fucking time. Like, I don't know exactly what the right term is, but I'm just obsessed with music, and I often just lay there listening to music and just like look, like imagine the layers of music in my mind and how it all kind of like comes together and the various aspects. Like one thing I realized a long time ago was I was listening to some instrumentals of my favorite artist, Owl City, because he makes very beautiful melodic, sorry. English is not my first language. Music. And then I realized how important his voice is to it. Like the melodies are gorgeous. But his voice actually really does do a lot of like heavy lifting to add to the beauty and the scenery of his art. And so when you get these AI music that has the same repetitive robotic kind of voice, it just gets really grating after a very short period of time because there is no uniqueness of it, even though the style of the music actually changes to it. So it's yeah, there. But like that's once again not Leaflet's fault. That's just like the AI not being advanced enough to actually add any inflection or unique voices or anything like that. As everybody has a very unique voice, and there are lots of artists that I like just because I like their voice. There. But the rest of what AI can do, like actually make the videos and everything, pretty awesome. Pretty fucking awesome. It's definitely something that like I kind of want to get into, but I'm way too fucking lazy. I am so lazy to be able to figure out the prompts I would need to do, how to put it together. Editing, editing's like I hate editing with a passion. I hate anything tedious, and that's what editing is to me. Also, I like how how everything's all locked up in this like little corner store with all the cameras and stuff like that. You can tell there's too many Inuas have been in this town recently. So, I'm just glad I didn't call him a band, though. But of course he's not a band. He's Adam Young. He's a one-man band. But I'm not. I could yap about Owl City, just Owl City himself for like at least a half an hour, if not more. So, oh, there. I know that some models can take voice sample and use for AI music, but I think it's more cost prohibitively and or extra work. Not exactly sure how it is, but like there's lots of fine tweaking. Yes, I see you call it like too lazy to use AI. LMAO. There is a lot of work that goes into AI to make stuff like this in particular. Like, if you just want a little quick shit post, you can go use Grok and just like throw something in. Yeah, that takes like 5 minutes or less, with most of the time just being Grok actually making the thing. But if you want to actually make an AI music video like this, like Skybrowse does or Leaflet or something along those lines, there's so much editing and tweaking you have to do to actually make it look right because the AI is flawed. It is not fully you know, it's not fully advanced. It's getting there and it'll be there soon. But it's not all the way yet. And so it does take a lot of time to do this, and that's where the laziness comes in. Leaflet takes Leaflet like 30 plus hours. Yeah, that's like a whole work week basically right there. Well, a little bit less. It depends obviously on the project, and obviously the more you do this, the more skilled you get, so the easier it is. So like there's that there, but for someone just starting, it would probably take me quite a while to actually learn a new skill, because it is a skill, trying to figure out prompting and coding for this. Eventually, it will become so streamlined that it won't be this difficult. But the people who are making these kind of videos, they are putting the effort in to make this. And then it will be a while before the plebs or the lazy people like me can just throw a prompt in there and then don't have to do the half the work that they're doing here. Making AI videos is more of a writer, director, producer type of skill than a typical artist skill. Yeah, I would say so, because you've got to know where to do the tweaks, how to make how you want the video to kind of go, the plot for it, various things like that. And even this scene right here, like the face looks a little bit weird, but like, next literally it's just a one frame thing, and then it looks fine. So you can kind of get with flaws, and I mean old animation, hand-drawn animation, used to do the exact same thing for stuff, because if you make the frames go fast enough, you're not going to be able to see this small little hand-drawn flaws that kind of make things look a little bit weird there. But only when you go frame by frame do you actually kind of see the different issues. And even then, like doing the frame by frame, it's like, oops, I didn't mean to hit the mute button. Whoops, I fat finger this. Like, the mouth kind of disappear. Like you can see the mouth has like a little extra like funny mustache line there. You know, it's a little bit flawed. The eyes are a little bit wonky. You know, like but it's only one frame, right? And so when you're watching it entirely, you don't even see it. Oh, think of AI as a slave that works for you, and you get to tell it no, do it over. Yeah. So, and yeah, I'm just lazy, but that's my flaw. Well, one of my many flaws there. But anyway, overall, very good video. She does great work. Pretty catchy there. Makes pretty good points, and it's good propaganda. Because propaganda is not exactly a bad term; it's a neutral term. Propaganda is something that pushes a message. And normally, it's used for bad because the government uses it for their own volition and whatever means to the end they want. But there's also good propaganda, like making Japanese anime waifu music videos about how to be racist. And I like that kind of propaganda. So, thanks for the react. Well, thank you for the 10 shekels. Or not 10 shekels, sorry, the 1,000 shekels. Or warp tokens. I'm getting my own terminology confused here. Anyways, but anyway, okay, so I had some news today. I have some random topics to talk about on the news. So first off, I guess we'll address the stream title here, because I do like my slaves extra crispy, after all. So there was a game that was released on Steam a few days ago now. Actually, yeah, 10 days ago, called Plantation Simulator. Plantation Simulator is a simple farming simulator where you motivate workers to pick your crops. Maintain a beautiful farm by repairing fences to keep workers focused. Choose multiple crops to grow and enhance upgrades to maximize your success. It's like, Farmville. Nothing too bad about it. It sounds, just motivating your workers. Give them candy, give them head pats, give them hugs. You might whip them as well from time to time, just to, you gotta get the stick as well as the carrot. There. You feel like, as it says, in this game, you'll be whipping black people to keep your farm productive. If you whip your black person too much, they will die. So you gotta manage your resources properly. You can't break your farm equipment. And somebody found it on Twitter, and it's like, hey, Steam, what the fuck is this shit in your platform? Which, caused an outrage, as you expect, because, slavery, bad, making fun of black people, bad. Oh my god, look at these pronouns in the, not the pronouns, look at the flags in the bio. Mooney OS, a dial-up diva of the digital dimension, candle maker, Twitch affiliate, Afro-Latina, with, Puerto Rican flag, and trans. I don't think even Hitler could expect this kind of experiments from the Jewish creation here. Afro-Latina? It's Puerto Rican and trans here? Like, Jesus Christ. I mean, at least they're keeping the IQ pretty low there, and the transgenderism definitely shows it, but okay then. What a monstrosity. There. Afro-Latina's booty max and gonna be like, it's gonna be, like Kim Kardashian's ass on steroids here. Oh, sorry, are we supposed to acknowledge there were black slaves, or are we supposed to pretend they didn't exist? Pick a lane, Wokies. It's like the joke, that's not really a joke, like, yeah, slavery was the worst thing ever. And and then the Anakin and Padme being like, oh yeah, Slavery is truly the worst thing ever. Slavery was a mistake. Uh, and it's like, then blacks want to come to America. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. And here's some gameplay of it. Clearly high quality gameplay. A controversial game called Plantation Simulator has been released on Steam and is receiving huge backlash from people calling it a slavery simulator. The game is described on Steam as a simple farming simulator where players motivate workers to work on a plantation. But the gameplay centers on a whipping mechanic applied to black workers to increase the productivity. Blech. The developer has described it as, in this game you'll be whipping black people as much blah blah blah, which we already read from the Steam page here. But here's some beautiful gameplay of it. Just going around just beating your black people like you normally do. It's just an our Wednesday. You can take all your racial anger out on them for how many times they've killed white people in the modern age. Okay, that hurts my fucking eyes with how fast that was going there, but okay. Oh, shit! Oh my god, okay. Well then. Thank you, Jazuki Taizagu, for the 10,000 warp tokens. 10,000 fucking warp tokens. That's a shit ton of them. That is a ton of them. Holy, thank you, dude. Thank you. And I'm not sure if you heard earlier, but thank you for being a sub buddy for 2 months in a row as well. Oh, consider this my thank you for actually being the most reasonable Amerikanski. I mean, eggs? I mean, I try to be, but I'm a woman, so you know, I do have that flaw, right? And I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. But but thank you for thinking so. Thanks for the 10,000 warp tokens, dude. Is there a game in particular you would like to use those warp tokens for? Because like I'll be like Arch and give you a little extra bonus since it is on Kick, and Kick is much more generous with the split than YouTube is, especially when it comes with those big numbers like that. So if there's a particular game that you want me to throw that to a game fund for, I will. I'll give you a bit of a bonus for it. Like what's Arch's formula? I just steal stuff from Arch because I truly am the real Enwa here. But yeah, I'll give you a decent bonus for it if there is. Yes, Winrose, grab Arch with you and other friends if you want. Pickers can't be choosers, but I was thinking of a game that there's already a fun for. But I'm not against Winrose. There. But it would probably be ages before we play it because there's already pretty, it's gonna be pretty far off. Pretty far off, before there's another game happening. Oh, oopsies. I'm trying to get my little notepad out here. My little notepad out here with the game funds and stuff. Winrose is good. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and so I do actually kind of want to play the game. But it's a big game with new friends and stuff and all that fun. So, if you'd like, we got Silent Hill 2, Alien Isolation, Deus Ex, Fallout Equestria, and then Changed. Those are the current game funds we've got going at the moment. Yeah. So, I played their Winrose twice, both precision and strength builds. I didn't know there's different builds. Yeah, I just heard it's really good. And it looks like a game that I would play, minus the fact that it's hyper-realistic, which I'm kind of tired of that kind of art style going on with games. Like, I don't really like everything being like real life. You left off FNAF? Oh, I forgot about FNAF. You're right. My apologies. Sorry. It's kind of a mess. There. But yeah. You have options. You have options here. And for everybody else who's done Super Chats before. Keep that in mind. Does Fallout Equestria come with Barch Instructor? No, but I can maybe see if I can rope them into it if I'm gonna have to. So right now it's free to reset your stats and Winrose anytime, so you can screw around with different builds. Uh, it's free? I mean, you have to pay to actually like reset your stats. Is it is it a live service game? I didn't realize it's a live service game. But I know Arch one. Okay, so I guess spoilers. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to anyways since we're talking about it. Just to kind of you know, explain my hesitancy a little bit more. But I know Arch actually wants to do a Winrose playthrough with the VTubers and friends. So like that's not gonna happen anytime soon because Arch is so busy with so many other things. Like we got the vampire campaign going on. He's going to Germany here. And you know he's got a bunch of other things that he's doing, but he does want to do a Winrose gameplay campaign sometime, probably within like the next year or so. So hence why I'm like I would like to play the game, but knowing that, I'm kind of like putting it off for it. So yeah. But anyways, thank you again for the 10,000 warp tokens. Very generous of you. Very, very generous of you. Thank you. But back to the NWAS simulator. Actually, an NWAS simulator would just be them killing you. This is the reparations that I personally want for white people for what all the murders they've done to us. There. He said so himself during the Winrose demo. Oh, he did? Okay, I wasn't sure if that's like public knowledge or not because I don't want to be releasing state secrets here. God, even whip the carriage in this game. And apparently the house. You just whip everything. Kinky, I like that. NWAS similar is relooted. True. I play a little bit of that, and I played just enough to get over the return, the 2-hour return policy thing, and I regret that to this day. So I was planning on playing this game on like doing a Rumble only stream to play this game. I even bought this game, but the problem is, they patched the fucking game. And they race swapped it to be whites instead. Just literally right after I bought the game. Like, I bought the game yesterday, and then a few hours later, they patched the game to make them white instead of black. So a lot of people are refunding the game. I have yet to refund it. I mean, on one hand, it's like only $1.50. It's really fucking dirt cheap. So like, on one hand, I don't really care enough to bother refunding. On the other hand, I know a ton of people, including me, bought this game just because of it, because it is silly. And so the fact that it's $1.50 does add up. And for capitulating to the woke leftists on Twitter and race swapping them, they should be punished. And $1.50 is $1.50 loss that they gained here. So it's the principle, yeah. It's the principle of the thing. So I'm planning on too. But the same, I'm kind of hoping they change it back. Even if it is the principle of the thing, because the person who made it is very upset on Twitter now. I did what y'all told me and you're still not happy. I changed things for you and you're still mad at me. Like, I don't think they realize. I'm not maybe, like, for somebody who's being edgy about the game, and they have apparently multiple other games that are very, very edgy as well. But it's like, if you're that edgy about this kind of stuff, you should at least know a decent amount about the culture war there, and that would mean that you should be able to tell where the attacks are coming from. So people complaining that there are, black slaves in this are going to be from the left. They're going to hate the fact that you did this in the first place. They're not going to forgive you because you did it. Even if you change them into white, they're still, we'll load this over you. Hold it over your head. There's no forgiveness. And the only thing that he could possibly do is just because of Steam, worrying about Steam shutting the game down. But it was up for quite a few days with the backlash before he changed it. So I don't think it's really the Steam itself actually shutting down the game. That would be like the only valid excuse to actually do that. versus the people mad at him now are mad that they did patch the game because most of these people did actually buy it because it is $1.50. It is dirt cheap. It is a funny thing, and they wouldn't support him for making this funny, edgy game. And that's it. So those are the people that are mad. Those are two different groups that are mad for two different reasons, for two different actions that he has taken. And he should be siding with the person that were actually, giving him money for making the funny, edgy game. Not the people that wouldn't have bought this in the first place and were trying to cancel him for making that edgy game in the first. But I can kind of understand when your notifications blow up, everything kind of looks the same, which is why you just ignore your notifications. Like, seriously, like, I'm just saying, like, if you ever become a content creator, or you ever have a viral post, or the case is, and you see this notification bill be a 20 plus, you just ignore it. It's the best way to deal with it. Even if there's lots of comments of praise in it, it's best just to ignore, because the ratio of negativity to positivity is never going to be in your favor. And so if you're like me and you hate notifications, you click the notification thing just to get rid of it, and then you back the fuck out of it. And it makes life so much more easier by doing that. So, but some people, if they don't understand how to handle the pressure, or because they're new to the scene, or they're just, they can't handle it because, not everybody's meant for this kind of stuff. Whatever the case is, things do kind of get to you after a while, even if you've been in the game long enough. So I don't want to be too harsh about them, but at the same time, they did give you the pressure. They did capitulate. They did make them whites. And I prefer my slaves crispy, frankly. I want them dark, okay? I want them burnt. I want them charred like a Jew in 1941, okay? That's how I like my slaves. Not white bread. Say it's a period piece, yeah. Because, it is, technically sort of kind of accurate for the time period. I say sort of kind of because there was a lot more non-whites that were owning slaves during that time period. There were actual legit black plantation owners. And the ones that were paler complexion were tiny hats, not big hats like this. So, if they were going to do it, then they should have known there's going to be a lot of backlash. I get, foreign vibes off this person. I don't know, maybe it's just the way they type. But I get, I don't want to say Japanese, but I get, I don't know, femboy kind of vibes off of it, with how they type, and the emojis they use, the gifs and everything there. And, I think they're just expecting it not to exactly blow up. Because there's whole Steam, let me double check this link real quick. It's filled with other edgy games as well. Yeah. Will you possibly dox me? No. Here we go. Here we go. We got Crucifier. Crucifier is the world's most Christian racing game ever developed. Plays a Roman soldier as he completes his day. Compete in 3 races to get on top of the scoreboards. Farm your local fields or crops, attain enough money to rest comfortably, talk lovely locals, and have a crazy time, battle crazy time traveler. So, you just work as a Roman soldier, left for bread. Femboy Fury, though. Lakeside has no lake. Spooky game. Boomer Brawler. My pet femboy. Zombies eat my femboy. These are, shitposty, low quality, dumb kind of games that, you just gonna make because for shits and giggles. Nothing too crazy. Just because you just want to pass the time or something like that. Femboy Fury's crazy self-report. This is Sleepy Sleep Steam page. They dubbed the call center out there. I think that's too mean to the dev here, even if he did capitulate. No Indian is gonna be typing like this and using a crying anime gif like this. The dev removed all the minority representation. There's no diversity in this game anymore. I know, sad. See, they're racist. They're racist. They don't want diversity in their game. Okay, what's their page here? I'm kind of scared there might be porn. I'll be completely honest. Hold on. Just because with all the femboy stuff. Like, here? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Okay, yeah, they're just... I feel like at this point they're just trolling now. Because here's apparently a new update that they're gonna be doing. Now the white slaves are wearing bras and underwear. So that femboy stuff is really coming in the clutch once again. Even seeing like just there are now chicks in it, and you send little kisses with hearts. Ooh woo. It's with great sadness that we're announcing that Fizzy Busy Studios in Montreal will be shutting doors effective immediately. We're sad and ashamed that we had to lay off our 200 talented employees. Wish them best of luck in their future endeavors. We're sorry. Yeah, I think at this point they're just doing these things for shits and giggles here. Need to make the owner black. Yeah, that would be actual true representation right there for how pimps work. There. 200. It's a joke. It's a joke. Like obviously with the Steam page, none of their games are really like to be taken very seriously. Yeah. But I think my theory is they got scared that Steam was gonna take the game down and go after them. So that's why they patched it to make the characters white. And then after hearing the backlash for it, they decided just to go with it. And, you know, make them into females with uwu kissy faces and stuff instead. Just because. I'm still gonna refund it for the sake of the principle. But at least they are sort of kind of handling it decently well. They're not having a crash out about it. And they're not apologizing profusely anymore. They're just kind of saying fuck it all. Those are females on mobile. It claims there are now chicks in it. Chances are they really just took the same models and just added the bras and the bikinis to it. But they say those are women, and I am a female respecter, and I will use their pronouns. Definitely see Mexican living in Canada? Probably. I could definitely see that. Though the reviews for Steam are great. Before they, changed the skin color from extra crispy to white bread. And gay. They're educational. I learned a lot from this game about how bad slavery was. The amount of effort required for the poor plantation owners just to get some work done was not worth the hassle. He's got a point. Those were not exactly cheap or very efficient farm equipment. Just want to throw that out there here. Check the account location. Let's see. United States with a VPN. So... Oh no, not even a VPN. Because that's just, by temporary location. So it says United States. It could just be a fucking femboy. Like, because, every right-wing space, like far-right space, is filled with Nazis and femboys. It might be this case as well. So, everyone is acting like the dev caved, but it feels more like this was an intentional own the Chode's release. I would like a game like this where I can whip Jeet sleeves in the corporate office. I don't even think it was own the Chod's release. I think it was just part of the whole shitposting games that he's making. I mean, look how many femboy games he's got. The Boomer Brawler. A spooky horror game where the femboy has the same as girlfriend from the town of Lakeside. Then we got a little bit more serious games like this whole zombie thing. So they really like zombies and femboys. Are they in the... Are they in the vor? Because there seems to be a Zombies ate my femboy. There's a shark there. My pet femboy. Horror game. More femboys. Zombies again. I don't know. I'm just saying that they have interesting interests to say the least. But they just, and they're all kind of like pushed out pretty quickly too. Because I mean these are pretty simple games. What's the upcoming releases? Oh, nothing. Sad here. But yeah, I don't really think it's just a own the chudge. I think it's just a little like shitposty, you know, game that they just put out there just to be edgy, and then didn't really think too far ahead about it, frankly. Zombies Ate My Neighbor is an SNES game? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a zoomer. I have femboy fatigue. Me too. There's too many femboys in my Hitler location. Here. Oh, is there a burp? I could feel a burp. Is there a burp? I can't tell. Maybe. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I felt it in the back of my throat. Please, no. Anyway, speaking of wanting flame, oh, not this yet. No. Speaking of wanting slaves extra fucking crispy, the Arkansas whites-only community sued for discrimination by a woman with black husband whose application to buy land was denied. Now I have the actual article here. So, for those who don't know, there is a community in Arkansas called Return to the Land, that's created by this guy, Arvol. And it's survived for a decent long time now. It's been under scrutiny for like over a year because it's, you know, racist just to exclude, just make it whites only. But they did a lot of work into the legal code to try to make this as possible without actually breaking any laws. And the kind of the point is to, well, give a whites only community because it's okay when blacks do it. There's been multiple cases with blacks actually trying to create their own communities. There was one that went to, I think, Nevada? Or was it Utah? It was somewhere out west, in the desert, that they tried to make their own community there, and it failed massively because they can't actually build society. Trying to build, and then there was a famous rich guy who actually tried to build Wakanda in Africa, and that they didn't even finish a building there. And there's another group in Georgia that tried to do it as well. Once again, didn't go very far because they can't build anything. But it's been totally fine and normal and okay for black people to try to build their own communities with no pushback or whatsoever. But as soon as white people do it, oh no. It's the worst thing ever. It's racist, all that fun stuff. But this is a good challenge for freedom of association. Especially when you have somebody who is a Jew trying to usurp it. So, well, let me read the article here. A whites-only community in Arkansas is being sued by a Caucasian woman who claims her membership application was rejected because she has a black husband. Spoiler alert, she's Jewish. Michelle Walker, 49, claims in a lawsuit that she's discriminated against when her request to join Return to the Land, 160-acre site near the rural town of Ravenden, was refused in November last year. Return to the Land, which was launched in 2023, is described on its website as a private association for individuals and families with traditional views and common continental ancestry. Walker, a real estate worker who lives in St. Louis, Missouri, says she's not drawn to Return to the Land for its principles, but was simply captivated by its exceptionally low sale price. Once again, tiny hats. Doesn't actually care about the morals and the principles, just wants the cheap land, supposedly. Supposedly here. Return to the Land is selling an acre of land for $1,000, significantly lower than the average price of land in the Ozarks, which is around $4,000 per acre. Walker, who self-identifies as white, believes she would be eligible to join the community based on requirements and disclosed she has Jewish ancestry on her mother's side, according to the complaint filed Wednesday and the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Arkansas, viewed by the Daily Mail. So she self-identifies as white, even though she's actually Jewish here. And on the mother's side, too. Which, for those who don't know, Jewish ancestry is actually traced on the mother's side. It's a matriarchal religion. You are Jewish if your mom's Jewish, like ethnically there. So she is literally actually legitimately Jewish, trying to identify as whites because she could be white passing to people who are ignorant about these certain things because she pale complexion. If you just go by skin color, then yeah, she's white. But if you go by ethnicity, she's Jewish. You can even tell by the nose and the beady eyes. But so she's a Jewish woman with a black husband trying to buy land here because of how cheap it is. When in reality, she's not actually trying to buy the land because how cheap it is. She's trying to bring it to court because, well, she's upsetty that, she and her husband are discriminated against because they're not white. Yeah. She's literally not a cultural fit. No. Typical fucking usurper here. Like, she is every single, like, stereotype you could put in so far. Matrilineal, not matriarch. Sorry, my apologies. My apologies for using the wrong word. There. The most impressive part, she's not a single mother. Well, she's still a Jew, right? So while she did race mix, which I'm sure her fellow Israelis are not going to be exactly happy about that, she made sure not to actually pick the wrong one, I guess. There. Her husband is black and they have 3 biracial children per legal filing. She was given an interview by the community in which her background was explored, and about a month later her application was denied. The lawsuit states. Yes, it's literally a community just for white people of European descent. So when you come in as Jewish and you have a black husband and 3 biracial children, mutts, you're going to be denied because you don't belong there. You have literally the rest of America. The rest of America. It's massive. You have 50 states to choose from. And land within those 50 states that are also relatively cheap if you go to a red one. Please don't go to a red one though. You can literally go anywhere, but you had to go there because you purposely want to be denied just to have this lawsuit in the first place. There. And it looks really nice too. Like, I have thought about possibly applying, but 1, I don't know how to actually build a house, and 2, I'm pretty sure it's for families. So there's that. But I thought about supporting them before, if possible. On Wednesday, she sued Return to Land for refusing to sell her land on the basis of race and religion, marking the first civil case against the group. Surprisingly, to take longer for this, I'll be completely honest. But of course, once again, it's a Jew that's doing it. She cited the Fair Housing Act and civil rights laws stretching back to 1866 in support of her argument. Walker said in her filing that her application saw her complete the group's application form in which she answered the questions about ancestry and religion. Walker said her father's side of the family came to the United States and then at 1600s, and that her mother's side of the family was made up of Russian Jewish immigrants per the complaints. So, deport? If she's trying to play this whole Jewish American thing, you should just be deported at this point. Like, my thing is like, okay, anybody after the 1965 Hart-Celler Act, I want deported because that are not European. I want gone, right? But if you are going to also play the hyphenated American shit, if your ancestors came before 1965, especially if you're Jewish, yeah, I think I'm also putting you on the deportation list as well because you're just being subversive little shit. You're not actually seeing yourself as American. You're just abusing America, its freedom and its principles for your own gain. But what do you expect from a tiny hat there? No. The filing added Walker's husband was specifically of Irish and African descent. Oh no. When asked about her religion, Walker allegedly replied, "I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus died for my sins, and through believing in him, I will have heavenly eternal life." For some reason, I just don't believe her. Walker also faced questions about whether she supported segregation, multiculturalism, gay marriage, and transgenderism, the filing added. Well, it is a community. It's a private community. It is a club. It's a membership. Okay, just like golf clubs and various other things. They have their own principles and morals. And if you don't support them, then, well, you don't get added in. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Per the lawsuit, Walker was surprised to see the sorts of questions on the housing application. Surprised? You knew exactly what this was. She's a fucking liar. A woman? Liar. Jewish? Liar. Jewish woman? Oh my god, you're never gonna get an honest sentence or even a word from out of her. She thought they were clearly violating federal and state fair housing laws prohibited with consideration of race and religion and land sale decision, according to the complaint. However, Walker went through with the questionnaire with the hope and expectation that she would not be denied the right to buy the land, because her answers per the suit. So she thought this was violating it, but she was still more willing to give them money just because she was hoping to actually get the land. Once again, a lie. She knew what she was doing here. She knew she would be denied. She only did this so she could possibly get the lawsuit going. About the 6 weeks after submitting the application, Walker was allegedly interviewed by a Return to the Land member who asked her if she belonged to any other white nationalist organizations according to the filing. Well, that could either be because they want to know if you support other, communities, or you might be a Fed. It's really hard to tell these days. Like, it's really hard to support any, like, white nationalist, pro-white, pro-American movements, because they really do just get worked in with Feds. Like, they always just involve themselves with it, and so it sucks, because I would actually like a pro-white movement that I could, like, join and advocate for, but they all just seem to be filled with Feds, and it's just not worth the risk. I mean, at least for me personally. Return to the Land's like the only genuine one, but that's because they do gatekeep so restrictively, and even then I wouldn't be surprised if a few Feds were able to sneak their way in. There. There. Yeah, you don't actually start the process to join Return to the Land? No. Yeah. It can be traced back to the original wording of the immigration policy: free white person of good character, and the freedom of religion was only reference to Christianity and Catholicism. Yep. But our whole entire constitution and everything else has been built upon America has just been completely psyoped. Even within the first 100 years of America founding, it's been ruined. This experiment was doomed to fail, unfortunately. It sucks to say this as an actual American. We have built an amazing country with great people, but it was doomed to fail because the principles we founded upon were faulty from the start, and it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. So here we are. And believe it or not, this is supposed to be the 250th year of celebrating America's founding, and we got no celebrations. 4th of July is like a month and a half away, and there's nothing happening to help celebrate it whatsoever. Versus go back to the 70s when we were celebrating 200-year celebration, and it was like the whole entire year was just constant festivities and American flags, tons of white people all over the place. Just because back then, in 1976, America was over 80% white. I think it was like 85% white if I remember the statistics there. Just 90-day difference within 50 years, and now we're 55% whites, filled with foreigners and Jews with biracial children who are trying to subvert actual white Americans and what the nation was founded for. But welcome to the 250th anniversary. Are you excited? Are you celebrating? Are you gonna make those fireworks go boom boom for 4th of July? There. Let's see here. Where was I at in this article here? Roughly 1 month went without a response. Walker allegedly reached back out to her interviewer to ask if she would know about her pending approval. The interviewer told her that she should not expect her application to be approved, the complaint read. Walker was never contacted by the group again, and her applications portal currently states the application was not accepted as she is not an ideal fit for the Return to the Land per the filing. Walker accused Return to the Land of denying her the right to purchase land based off her religion, ancestry, and race of her family members, which are incompatible with Return to the Land's goal of establishing an all-white community. The lawsuit claimed Return to the Land had developed an extensive screening process to make sure that only white non-Jewish people can join their community in the Ozarks. Ayo, based? Once again, I kind of want to see if I can join it. But part of me is kind of concerned I'll get denied. Because I don't have a family. I'm just a white void. In addition, applicants have allegedly been asked to submit pictures or a video to confirm they appear white. The video interview was allegedly used to do a physiognomy check. To verify the candidate presents as white per the suit. Oh, okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful right there. We're looking at for the beady eyes, the hooked nose, the big, detached earlobes here. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. John Reelman, one of the attorneys representing Walker in the legal case, said the suit sends a message to Return to Land and any other white separatist organization seeking to perpetuate segregation that the rule of law remains intact. Okay, then why can blacks do it? Why can blacks get away with scot-free? Like, the only reason why there's no actual black community is because they always give up on building it. Like, they take the money and run, and that's it. They don't actually build anything upon it, but they get away with it. They can buy the land, and then they can abandon the land and take the rest of the money and get away. They don't get sued for discrimination. They don't get sued for scamming people. They just carry on with their lives like nothing fucking happened here. Our nation will not abandon the fair housing rights we have fought so hard to uphold and enforce, Roman said. Walker is seeking damages and a court order that permanently forbids Return to Land from engaging in the alleged discrimination. She's being represented by Washington, D.C. Fair Housing Law Group, Reelman Colfax, the Legal Aid of Arkansas, and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Walker says she's not concerned about her politics, belief, marriage, or children because she's not planning on moving to the whites-only community. And there it fucking is. There it fucking is. She says she was interested in it for the land being, $1,000 per acre. But she was not concerned about her politics, beliefs, marriage, or children because she was not even planning on moving to the whites-only community in the first place. So why were you interested in buying the land for $1,000 an acre if you weren't going to move there in the first place? You just want to own the land? Or did you want to own the chuds for daring to have a white separatist organization in the first place? Community, I should say. Her interest was based on real estate and the potential opportunity to eventually rent the land. Not even actually integrate with herself in the community like it's supposed to. Like, ignore the discrimination aspect about this. Ignoring the Jewish, the black children, everything else about it, right? It's a community of people to kind of, like, live together. And if you're gonna buy the land, you should have plans to build upon the land. And join the community. There. Now, I do know you can actually join the community without living there, but I don't know if it's actually through buying the land, or you just like a membership fund that you pay like online. And I'm assuming it's a membership online, because why would they give land to people who are not actually going to be building upon it, actually integrating themselves within the community? Like, it doesn't make any logical sense. Also was a random, yeah. Jewish woman lying through her teeth about every single thing with biracial children. But you know what? Hey, listen, she wants to destroy her bloodline. All the more the merrier for me, frankly. Right? Who supposedly went after it for the cheap land. And then wants to rent it out and for real estate purposes. Can you get any more tiny hat than this? Oy vey indeed. Excuse me. A good investment is good investment, Walker told the New York Times on Wednesday. There was never a plan for my husband and children to go there, she added. I'm bold, but I'm not stupid. So, earlier, she said that, once again, she didn't even get her story straight. But she said earlier about how that she wasn't worried about her children because she wasn't planning on living there. But she also was hoping that she would get her application thing. Because she didn't even realize that they're discriminating. She's like, oh, well, I didn't even realize what it was. I was just interested in the whole, the cheap land there. But it wasn't until the application I realized it was discriminating. But I was still hoping that they would, go through just because. But then I'm bold, but I'm not stupid. So but with that statement, she admits that she knew what Return to the Land was for a whites-only community. Before the application, since she had no no plans to actually move her children and her family there because she's worried about being discriminated against. So she's not making any sense. Okay then. Well, she's making sense if you think about it from the fact that she is a liar through and through, purposely trying to destroy Return to the Land. But at least if you're going to do that, keep your fucking story straight. Return to the Land's co-founder, Eric Orwell, said the group anticipated the lawsuit. This is going to be a competition between our right to freely associate and then the civil rights laws, which seem contradictory to our claims, Orwell told the outlet. Yet the First Amendment and the right to freely associate would help Return to the Land win the case. Orwell said last November this group was for European heritage and they want to perpetuate that according to 429 News. He added that America was built by white Europeans for white Europeans. That's true. 100%, 1000% fucking true, specifically by the British. And then there's a little bit of French and Spaniard, but it's and Dutch, but it's mostly the British. Like the 13 colonies were fucking British. And the Germans came in a little bit later and had problems with the British, but like, still, Europeans. Orwell argued that multiracial and multicultural societies have lower trust and people become less sociable. Also true. You can see that literally across the entirety of human civilization and the whole entire world. Last year, the Daily Mail reported that Return to the Land was home to at least 36 people. The Daily Mail has reached out to Walker's attorney and Return to the Land for comment. Well, probably not best for Walker to respond to Daily Mail. Daily Mail is actually one of the better article news sites to actually get just the facts about the situation without too much of bias. But, I mean, it's still a journalist outlet, so you still have to be a little bit wary. But it's usually pretty good, which is why I do kind of like using them. And plus, you can get a lot of stories that they publish stories that most mainstream media outlets that won't, like Fox News, CNN, even the New York Post doesn't have the same articles that sometimes the Daily Mail has. I know it kind of seen as a rag because they also do a lot of like celebrity drama stuff, but like they have good stuff mixed in with the bad, right? Anyways, so Orwell here has actually made a response video addressing the situation, and so I figured we would watch it and actually, you know, see what he has to say about it and how he's planning on handling it. I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch I watched like the first minute of it just to kind of see, but we'll go from there. We'll go from there.
Michelle Walker, a Jewish woman and one of the largest real estate brokers in the St. Louis area, married to a black man, has filed a lawsuit against Return to the Land for discrimination. This is absolutely the lawsuit that we've seen coming from the beginning and that we have been meticulously preparing for. It's a battle we intend to win. She has the Legal Aid of Arkansas and the NAACP Legal Defense Fund behind her. They will throw millions at this if they have to. We can't raise those kinds of funds, but we can win this thing because we've been preparing for it from day one. We have spent many thousands of dollars researching our structure, how to improve it. We have proactively made sure to comply with all existing state and federal regulations and laws. And they're getting basic things about us wrong in their complaint letter.
So, one, I'm just saying, pure Aryan Giga Chad here, okay? Sorry, the female ovaries require gooning first, logic a second. White, a fucking A10s, a blonde, nice chiseled jaw, clearly in shape. Okay, listen, I gotta appreciate who he is and what he's doing, right? And then that includes the physiognomy, right? If they're gonna be doing physiognomy checks to be able to get into Return to the Land, I can do it for my stream. Anyways, okay, gooning over. The second point, right? The logic part is that he seems like the whole entire situation, which I haven't done like a whole lot of coverage about Return to the Land on my streams personally, but I have been kind of keeping an eye about on it because out of like curiosity to see how things go, and interest. But he seems deadly serious about this and actually making it right. And I cannot appreciate that more, because it's nice that someone's actually doing this, actually trying to make a community for whites only, even in America of all places, and trying to and actually did the research, extensive research, to prepare for to stop this from happening, to be sued basically, to have this community, because actually going against the system. And hopefully, if this doesn't get, smacked down immediately, which it probably won't, because as he said, they're raising millions, she's got connections, she's Jewish, all other fun stuff, right? It probably will have to go to the Supreme Court, and this will be challenging the freedom of association, which is a constitutional right, versus civil rights stuff, and it will be a challenge, because technically we don't have freedom of association as if we're not allowed to segregate. Like, it's that simple. Um, and it needs to be challenged. Like, but no one's been able to do so because they haven't either put in the effort or had the balls to do it. But he has, and you have to respect it. That's the thing, right? And I cannot stress this enough. Like, because I feel like people who do challenge the system, who actually go out and do something with their life, deserves a million times more respect. Because at the end of the day, I'm the dumb woman in my dad's basement with a VTuber model yapping into the void. I'm not really doing anything except for talking about this stuff. Which, on one hand, you can make the argument, okay, it was getting the word out for people to know. That's in itself not exactly a bad thing. But you still need somebody to do it in the first place to even talk about it, have the balls and risk their life. And that's what he's doing. That's what Tyler Oliveira and Nick Shirley are doing with their exposing videos on various groups and scams happening. That's what Sargon of Akkad is doing with like the Lotus Eaters, actually having a business, making the most genuinely right-wing media outlet in Britain, reporting on the news that the BBC and other mainstream outlets don't want to cover, right? Like, actually people building something and exposing it and challenging the system deserves way more respect than just somebody yapping on the internet here. And they should be appreciated and rewarded and praised for it. There.
We will not allow them to persecute us in this way. If possible, we'll go on the offensive. This wealthy Jewish woman, backed by organizations with millions at their disposal, she's attacking a handful of ordinary white families, many of whom are low income even, who are interested in homesteading, community building, celebrating our heritage in our own private club. She's attacking us. She's threatening white children with homelessness, because if they win this lawsuit and we're forced to sell this land, the white children living here will not have homes. They'll lose their community that they have come to know and love. She's threatening the well-being, livelihood, and security of ordinary white people while she plays the victim.
I would hope, and I don't want this to come to it, but I would hope that if that does happen, and I fucking hope it doesn't, but I don't really have much faith in the system, unfortunately. But I would hope if that did happen, that there would be like a give, send, go set up for these families to kind of help relocate them elsewhere, because if they are low income, which I mean most of them are, like there's a decent amount of poor whites out there, and they don't use government assistance. They're not on welfare. They're not on food stamps. They don't have government jobs or anything like that. They're just honest to God people trying to get by, and try to have a family. It's quite admirable. And, if they're being kicked out here, if they do get kicked out, I would hope that they would actually be able to get support to move elsewhere, because it's not going to be pretty if that does happen.
She is seeking damages from us because supposedly she suffered financial and emotional harm when we rejected her from our association. It's totally ludicrous. So, Return to the Land, of course, is a private membership association for people of European heritage. It's a private club for people of European descent who want to preserve and celebrate that heritage through community building. That's it. It's a private club. The vast majority of our members don't live here in Arkansas in the intentional community that some of us have established. It is a club for organizing people of like mind. We don't sell real estate. Return to the Land doesn't own real estate. Michelle Walker apparently was watching TV one day and she saw.
So if they don't sell a real estate or own real estate, then how was she interested in real estate stuff? Once again, her story's not adding up.
A report talking about a really good opportunity for cheap land in the Ozarks. Now, this sounds like it was a misrepresentation of Return to the Land on the part of the mainstream media. So she was watching mainstream media, got the wrong idea about what it is that Return to the Land is doing, thought that we sold land when we don't. She applied to our private club, a European Heritage Club. We rejected her because, no, she doesn't meet the criteria for membership with us. And then she's suing because supposedly that violates the FHA because she thinks she was applying to buy land. There is no way the public can apply to buy land from Return to the Land. We don't have land, and we don't even sell land here out of Community 1 in the Ozarks. Subsets of RTTL members can get together, pool funds, and buy land and form communities. And, people can come and go from those communities. That's normal. But that is not a public real estate development. That's a private intentional community. And there are hundreds of intentional communities that operate in a similar way around the country. So it's basically a blatant mischaracterization of who we are, what we stand for. The complaint letter is trying to prejudice the judge or.
So, if that's all true, her complaint is just dead in the water then. Like, if they don't, it's a private community, they don't sell land, if people have to work together to pool money to actually buy the land for themselves, there's no real estate aspect of things, then her, other than being rejected from the club for, not being fitting the things, which you can maybe say discrimination because, maybe the private club can't discriminate based off race because that's racist and the civil rights stuff, right? I can maybe see them trying to go from that argument, right? But if she's trying to use the Fair Housing Act, which is part of it, part of the case, which I read in the article, it's just dead in the water because that's just not true. Like, it just doesn't make any logical sense. She didn't even try. She didn't even fucking try to do this. Oh my god. Thank you, Philip. For the 1,000 warp tokens. Thank you, my dude. Most people are badly or most people are badly or uninformed about their rights, and you are doing your part by talking about these subjects. I mean, that includes me. I'm not well versed in legal code, right? And then there's also the fact that states have different legal codes on top of the federal stuff. So I can guarantee you I am very much misinformed myself there. But I think, I don't know. Like, I guess you could, I know you're trying to be nice by saying that I'm doing my part by taking these subjects. I do appreciate it. It's very, very sweet. So I'm not trying to, dismiss it, right? But you cannot deny there's a difference between yapping about it and actually doing the work in the first place. And that is the gulf of difference. And I feel like a lot of, and I think my main qualm about this, my main gripe, is the fact that too many people are comfortable just yapping about the issue and waiting for the funny mustache man to actually rise. My excuse is that I'm a woman, right? And that, women shouldn't be in politics, especially actually actively involved within politics, on the professional level. They should be at home and working within their communities. That much level of involvement in politics there. And so in a way, I'm kind of doing that, right? That's my excuse. But at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that I'm still being hypocritical about it, and the funny mustache man is not gonna rise again without a man actually willing to risk his life to do so. And guys like Arvel here is basically doing that. So yeah, that's kind of my argument there.
Anyone who looks at this against us, they're lying about our values. We stand for the rights of all Americans to freely associate and build communities according to their values. Actually, we think that's important in the modern day because people are too isolated and we lack community. We're trying to make the world better. Meanwhile, people like Michelle Walker are trying to render young white children homeless and break up community. So I think the optics here are terrible for their side. I think we can win the public conversation. This is something that should be brought to the national discourse. I am willing to go and talk about, to the extent that we can, the case, to talk about all these details. If you can share this, like this video, please do. If you can support us, we intend to win and we have assiduously prepared for this, but we do need support. So if you can, go to givesendgo.com/RTTL-legal-fund. We've had the same fundraiser for several months now because there are other state and federal investigations that are ongoing that we have to respond to, and one other lawsuit. We will fight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure there was at least one other lawsuit. I know they got in trouble like last year. I think that's what got them on the scene that like I can remember because the article said they were funded in 2023, but I don't remember hearing them about them till like last year, if I remember correctly, like early last year, roughly around the same time. And then again, my concept of time is kind of fucked up, um, but and it's just non-stop pressure from them for actually trying to use the freedom of association that America was partly founded on. But you know, that's what happened. That's what happens when you're white and you dare stand up for yourself.
All these battles and win and establish our right to freely associate as white Americans, and really for all Americans, our collective right to freely associate and form communities how we choose. So, yeah, I mean, Michelle Walker put out a statement saying she saw that report, that misleading report, thought a good investment is a good investment. There was never a plan for my husband and children to go there. So she wasn't even trying to join our community, which is the whole purpose of our land here. It's not a real estate transaction. No one receives a deed. You're joining an intentional community. And she misconstrued what that was. It should be an open and shut case. We hope that it is, but we're going to need really competent legal representation.
The optics would be better if you stopped saying white. I I kind of agree, but that's also the point. Like, I brought up 3 examples earlier about how blacks were able to get away with this. The one was technically in Africa trying to rebuild Wakanda, but still, it's the same point where they keep on trying to make their own black-only community, and they get away with it. There's no lawsuits for them. There's no public pressure. There's no Jewish lady with mixed children trying to come in and you know put pressure on them or anything like that. The only reason why they fail is because they take the money and run and don't actually build. That's it. That's literally it. Um, and so it's very much the case of the whole. You know, he's trying to stand up to the system here and to the whole um, public. What's the right term I want to use here? Consensus. There we go. Public consensus for how things are handled here. So using white might not be the best optically wise, but what other term is he supposed to use? Caucasian? European? They all mean the same thing. We all know what a European is. There's no such thing as a black British person. Um, like Europeans are whites. That's literally where white people come from. They don't come from the fucking moon and the stars. Um, though with their technology, you know, you might as well say that they do. Um, like it's what else are you supposed to use? It literally is a community for white people of you know European descent with like-minded you know thoughts. Like that's literally the fucking point of it. There's really no other term to use because that's the whole point. Like, and it's just a challenge to see if white people can actually do it or not. And if we can't, well, as we already know, we live in a two-tier system. But if they win, especially if this goes to the Supreme Court, which I kind of hope that it does, though I know there's going to be massive amount of legal fees for them to do so. But if it does go to the Supreme Court, this would be great for freedom of association because it should be pretty simple. But because she has got so many facts wrongs, I hope that it's going to be done deal much faster.
And the more resources we have to bring to bear on this, the better our defense, the better our chances of setting important precedent that will matter for future white Americans. And then beyond that, we engage in proactive legal research. They've passed laws, actually. In Texas, they passed a bill. A bill went past the House in Pennsylvania, and then they introduced one in Arkansas, essentially trying to ban organizations like Return to the Land, trying to take away our ability to associate and organize. We won't stand for it. We have to fight back. And right now, we don't have big organizations standing up for us. They're violating our rights. They are targeting us with lawfare, and we have nothing to do in retaliation. Support us, and we will fight back for you. Fight back with us. Support us. GiveSendGo.com/RTTL-legal-fund. If you've helped us out in the past, please consider helping again. I have everything in this. The members here have everything in this project. If it fails, we lose everything. We're putting our well-being on the line, trying to stand up for the rights of white Americans. If you can chip in, $30 a month, set up a monthly recurring contribution. Maybe you don't have money right now to donate a whole bunch of money. That's fine. This will be going on for quite a while. Please help us. We need the help. We need the support. They will dump millions into this, and we are the underdog, but we're in the right. Fundamentally, we have the constitutional right to freely associate, and we've gone deep in the case law and structured intelligently to correspond. We've given it the best possible defense. This is our chance to stand up for our rights in court. And if we fail, even then, we've gained something. We've gained knowledge about what the limits are. And then we know, what are our options? Well, if we're not even allowed to get together in a rural area and homestead together, then it's taking away a large number of options, and we might have to get more radical in some respects. I don't want to get more radical. I want things to be peaceful and stable, and I want them to respect our rights. And to those regulators and judges and folks out there who are attacking us, you can find me. You can talk to me. If you want to criticize our morality, fine. Let's have a conversation about it. But what's being done is our legal system that was invented to protect us and protect our rights is being weaponized against us, being used to threaten our children, and it's a total miscarriage of justice. We cannot allow this to stand.
He needs to be a bit careful with that offer about talking with other people, because and I think he is, because I know he's kind of. Last year he was doing interviews when he shouldn't have. I think he's gonna learn his lesson, because there's just too many bad faith actors out there, especially from anything from like the mainstream media, even like the Daily Mail, which I consider to be better when it comes to the biases thing. It's still mainstream media. You still need to be very very careful who you talk to. I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to have the olive branch. He's trying to be peaceful. Trying to explain the situations and make any misinformation cleared up, and make it very clear what he's doing. But at the end of the day, simply because this is a community for white people, right, for European descent, because that's the only place where white people come from again, for them to have families and homestead, for that reason alone, because it's just for white people, and not even all white people, by the way, you still have to have specific beliefs, and and religion and everything else upon it too. Okay, so it's actually quite discriminatory when you think about it, which is a good thing because it means having gatekeeping. Like, just for that factor alone, you're gonna have hundreds of thousands of people attacking you, and very few people are actually gonna come from good faith to actually talk about morality and various other things. And the best thing he can do is just what he's doing now, right? Just keep on keeping on. Make this little video explain the situation. Even then, it's a little bit risky-disky because he's now in a lawsuit. And when you're being in a lawsuit, you need to be very careful what you can say in public, because it can be used against you. And the amount of streamers that have ruined their own cases because they got a little bit too emboldened on stream, and released too many details, has happened all the time. And so he basically needs to do the same thing and be careful here, because if it's not just not like it can might be used against him in the lawsuit for whatever reason, it is. But regardless, like he just needs to stay in his lane, keep on trucking on, make people aware that it's happening for those who need to want to support him. I know I'm gonna be I'll throw him a bone after stream's over. Off stream I'll donate to the Give Send Go to help with this. Not like a ton of money, but I will personally give a few of my own personal shekels to him to help to try to help support this. Like I do I do want him and his community to be successful here. And I don't want him to be destroyed, because I do want freedom of association. I do want white people to be have America for America, because it is specifically for white Americans that built this place. I'm tired of the double standard that all the nuns have within America, that they can get away with murder and rape and have multiple prior arrests and until they finally actually do something heinous, and even then they get like a slap on the wrist, right? I'm tired of the fact that they can have their communities and swindle people and don't have to worry about it. I'm tired of the H-1Bs. I'm tired of the Chinese students. I'm tired of all these nuns coming and flooding America, leeching off the country my ancestors built. And if I dare try to get away from it but still live in my own country without fleeing the problem, because that's not the solution. If I dare try to actually, find the solution to the problem and create something within the system as best as I can, I still get demonized on it because I'm white. And so I do want to support him for this, and I hope him nothing for the best. But there's still like 30 seconds left, so let me continue on.
So we have to get behind. Their side puts millions into legal battles. We have to get used to the fact that we will have to fight. We will have to pitch in resources for the fight. So help us out, givesendgo.com/rttl-legal-fund. Share the video and pray for us, because we're going to be fighting for you.
And I appreciate that. Once again, I cannot stress this enough. I know I said it like 5 times already in this video alone. That he quite literally is by making this community here. And he does deserve the support. Now, obviously, right, like, when I advocate for anything, I feel like I've done a little bit more recently with like these Give Send Go stuff, right? I don't want to be like, yeah, give your money here, give your money there, give your money there, blah 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 blah, right? At the end of the day, you use your money as you wish and as you please, because and you should do your own research. Don't listen to the dumb woman on the internet. Figure out what you want to do, because it's your earned money there. But out of all the things I've supported, other than like Shiloh Hendrix, I would say this is even bigger than, well, no. They're based on the same level. Yeah, one's a freedom of speech issue with Shiloh Hendrix. This one is an actual freedom association issue and community building thing. Both of them are essential to America and what it represents and what it stands for. And both need to be completely challenged here. So we can actually fight back for our country. And so, like, I personally think, if you do have the extra change, go ahead. If you don't worry about it. Obviously, you need to focus on what's best for you, right? And make sure your bills are paid, your stomach is full, your future family's taken care of, all that fun stuff. But this is a very important precedent that needs to be set, and I'll be throwing him some shekels later, after stream. There. Amal, can you link the vid in chat? I mean, I can. It also has the Give Send Go link below if you want. Here you go. Here you go, chat. There. Shiloh had so much aura. True. And she's getting sent to court. Any plans for Amal to move there? Not really. I don't know how to build shit. Like, my grandpa was a carpenter, but fuck. My dad has some carpentry skills, but nowhere to the same extent my grandpa did. I haven't learned, and he never taught me any of that stuff, so, I would show up and be like, oh, this land's really pretty. I'll set my tent up, and then my little campfire, and I guess I'll chill here in my sleeping bag. I hope I don't get eaten by bears. Oh shit, thank you, Philip, for the 50, oh sorry, the 5,000 warp tokens. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dude. You guys just in general have been very generous today. Jesus fucking Christ. Here's my bet to put in with yours. I mean, I appreciate that, but obviously, but I rather you spend that money on the actual gifts and Go link than give it to me to get it for you, because by the time all the transaction fees go down, that's a lot less money there. Plus, it should go directly to him and his legal fees, not through the void. There. Oh, there. But thank you regardless. I will use that to give him a little bit more than I originally planned on then. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dude. Very kind of you. Well, we white people need to actually band together. You know, speaking of the whole, you know, in-group preferences we talked about earlier with stream, that this is part of it. Like, we need to actually stand with our fellow men as much as we can, right? If you have to, like, donate to the community for any, like, clothes or food, if you have money to give, then, you know, money to give, or your own time and service if you have any skills, whatever the case is, you know, just try to actually get out there and help your fellow white man. If you're white. If you're a non, well, I mean, I'm sorry God hates you. I guess help other nuns who's not in America, right? Right, this is not done in America. You can help your own kind, just, you know, not at my own detriment here. Oh, my water is warm. I'm sad. That's what I get for not putting my water bottle in the fridge overnight. Sorry. I know it seems really, like, strange there, but I like cold water. I don't like room temperature water. As a European in Europe, they have my blessing. Good. Good. With those A10 and that bright blonde eyes. Not bright brown eyes there. Bright blonde hair. You know he's from, you know, true German stock. Oh. There. Okay. Sorry. I'm really thirsty right now. Okay. Should I play this game? What kind of fascists are you? I had another topic I would, but every time I keep on closing my my little group tabs, this one that's not actually a group tab keeps on popping up. So what kind of fascist am I? I feel like we've been glowing quite a lot this stream, so what's a little bit more to kind of add to the Fed posting here? I am literally a Mossad agent, can you not tell? Okay, this quiz will ascertain what category under fascism you belong to. The presumption is that the test taker already self-identifies as a fascist. Well, being aware of socialistic and quasi-nationalistic aspects. Chat, am I a fascist? Those who are well within the varieties of fascism might slide into their quizz's result with ease. Those who describe the fascism but are not entirely familiar with the categories of variety might be surprised to learn where they fall on the spectrum, so to speak. The available results meet the limit this website allows. I would have included at least one or two more otherwise. Okay. Apparently this is a long quiz? Okay, well, I guess I can do it for the rest of the stream. No worries. So... Okay, full disclosure. I'm a dumb void. I don't know actually that much about fascism and the inner workings, okay? I am not well read. Okay? I don't even really consider myself a fascist, to be honest. I just kind of, you know, I just do my Hail Hitlers before I go to sleep at night, you know? Now you put fascist to shame. I want to take that as a compliment. Okay, monarchy with its relation to fascism is completely incompatible. It's perfectly compatible with fascism, and I support maintaining a monarchy. I am indifferent to the subject of monarchy when it comes to fascism. Well, it's the state controlling everything. and it's not really compatible with monarchy. From my basic bitch understanding about fascism and monarchy there. Like, I mean, I guess it could be, right? Because your dear leader could have a lineage. But it's not... I'm already stumped by the first question. This is not... This is not going well now, is it here? Someone suggest her some books. Listen, okay, I don't subscribe to any ideology. I just believe what I believe in. Whatever camp that puts me in is where I belong, okay? Let's see. I guess I'll go with I feel like I'm torn between completely incompatible and indifferent. Because I don't really support maintaining monarchy, frankly. I guess I'll go with indifferent for my ignorance here. I'm a staunch nationalist. I don't want a civilizational state, even if it means such empire would be a fascist one. Yes. 100% yes. I am against petty nationalism. I see nationalism only as a precursor to a very necessity civilization state near Imperium. Petty nationalism? Yeah, no, I don't want a civilization state. Like, I want full ethno-nationalism. I do not hide my admiration for the state of work Mao Zedong and my interest in the fundamental direction of Chinese politics. I don't know jack shit about any of this stuff, which continues the grandiose objective of breaking the colonial grip and which the systems arose in 1945 and the just freedom of the four continents. Whereas I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so Grifter alert. Oh. Okay, so on one hand, I think the China should be for the Chinese. And so if this guy, you know, Mao, right? I know who Mao is. Was working for the whole, bringing back China for the Chinese then, and bringing the colonial grip. Then, like, I'm not actually completely against that, even if China is better under colonialism and it's beneficial for the Europeans. But at the same time, I really just want to be left alone and grill. I know it's not exactly possible. So on one hand, I know it's better for white people if we have the colonies and actually control them. On the other hand, it's not exactly possible, and China should be for the Chinese. So I'm gonna say somewhat. I'm not really admiring him either. So I did not hide my admiration. I'm gonna say somewhat disagree then. Yeah. So strongly disagree with Chairman Mao. Oh, Forrest, like, do you like the China? Yes, no, not really. You know? Petty nationalism means to say the French and English hating each other? Oh. That's kind of... I mean... I understand why they did. So, like... I'm not actually against it, but I'm not for it either. Not in the current state. Like, do I have a fence too much up my ass? Or am I just that ignorant? Because, like... I understand why the French and the English have been at war for so long because of how it used to work. It's only in the modern ages that we have technology to actually communicate with each other and resolve differences. And nowadays, we're being attacked because we're white, so we do need to band together. But it doesn't change the fact that for the entirety of human history, you did have ethnic conflict. You did have, state conflict too. Like, because the reason that there's so many different differences between the French and the English. It's not really petty why they did. Like, it's normal there. It's not petty. Like, it is petty in the modern age because we have bigger problems to face than just the two different nations fighting. But once those problems are gone, they can go back to having as many fist fights as they want. Like, it's normal. Like, it's not petty, but it's not smart in the current moment. Like, I don't, Anyway, that's not the point. I'm thinking too deep about these questions. Especially for being so ignorant as I am. Race. Does not matter. Real fascism is non-racial. Oh. It really is a mental phenomenon more than anything? The fuck? It's almost completely biological. There's a mental aspect. The aspect derives from the consensus of biology, and that's it. It's a balancing the mind and biology, with the mind still as the root cause of what makes a person biological, as long as the actions and choices stem from the mind. No, it's 100% biological. Race is biological. It makes the mental aspects. Your DNA, your genes make you so you don't have that fucking frontal lobe, so you can't think 15 seconds ahead. Okay. Hitler was divine to such a degree that I personally believe he's a reincarnation of a Hindu or pagan god. Yeah, no fucking way. What the hell are you talking about? This is Indian coded. This is like India's like love of Hitler here. I am more of a traditionalist despite my strong fascist leanings. I wholly reject the futurist influence of it on Italian fascism. I am grateful that German National Socialism lacked the influence of the disgusting view that Mirenti's futurist ideology. Fascism is better when synthesized with traditionalism as much as humanly possible. Dumb Foyd doesn't know the complete differences between the two of them here. Like, I don't know what he means with the futuristic ideology. I know that Italian fascism is different than German National Socialism. Like, there. If I remember correctly, the German National Socialism was focusing more for the Germans and fellow, like, white Europeans, but mainly just for the Germans. And Italians were more race blind. But at the same time, like, I am a traditionalist in the sense of, but like, what's the definition of traditionalist here? Because I'm more traditionalist in, like, okay, women should be at home raising kids, men in the workforce, you know, women not in politics, you know, having 10 babies. Like, it's more the family traditionalist things. Everybody goes to church on Sunday, even if I'm personally not religious. Like, you know, I don't want to be, I'm more of an isolationist. I don't want my country being reliant on others too much. I want things more on the home front, like that kind of traditionalist here. Then yes, is that easy? Okay. I think it assumes only fascists take it. Well, it literally says in the beginning that it's literally made for fascists here, so, you know. We're gonna be here all day. I heard it's already long, and seeing I'm taking this, how many questions are there? Oh my god. Is there 50? 40. Oh, it's only 40. It's not that bad. I can get to this by the end of stream. Ye of little faith. Ye of little faith here. Oh, that's literally everyone from the modern age. Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Traditionalism basically means Christian beliefs without the religion. Okay, that's me then. That's just me. Though I do understand that Christianity is needed for the Western world, even if I'm personally not religious. Fixation towards phenotypes to such a degree as such as marginalize most of our race or people as a mental illness. While certain physical looks might be ideal, there's no true thing as a pure race when it comes to matter biology. If we are German, Nordic is a state of thinking, not a pure blood to be held by others. If we're Italian, Roman's ideal, not a pure set of blood better than others, so on and so forth. Agreed? Nope, I'm biological determinist. I focus on wholly on biology, period. I mean, yes and no. Is there an in-between for this answer? Like, like, there's definitely phenotypes that does definitely reflect upon the person, right? It goes back to the biology having a good chunk of influence on the nature of a person. And then, but there is still nurture aspect there. Like, nature is extremely important. Like, it is essential that you pick the right person to breed with, because your child will reflect the pros and the cons of both you and your spouse. But at the same time, there is the nurture aspect that cannot be denied. People's, you know, lived experiences, right? Their anecdotal evidence. What they go through in life is important, and so you can't just judge based off physical looks. Though I guess certainly your lived experiences can affect your physical looks, because you can see stress upon people's face, right? You know, you can see the sunken eyes from, you know, lack of sleep and various other aspects too. So where's the in-between option for this? Isn't nurture's blood and phenotype a mole? I get that. But, like, that's the question, though. The fixation toward phenotypes to such a degree is marginalized most of our race or people's mental illness. I think that's too extreme. I do think it's important. Like, that phenotypes does matter. But I'm not gonna go as far as say as is a mental illness. Like, it matters, but it's not that important either. Like, it's where's the in between? Like, all should just say agreed. After we are German Nordics say thinking not pure blood hell about others, or Italian Romans ideal, not pure set of blood, so on and so forth. Logical alternatives that focus on bullying biology. I guess agreed. I guess I'll just do agreed. Okay, fine, whatever. Whatever. Carry on here. Blood carries a memory of race, and in it you can find culture. By breeding together such people and increasing their quantity in our state, you thus increase the chances of making the majority of people who embody our true values. This is how we make the new man, or the ideal man or woman. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, yes, agreed. Yes, 100% fucking agreed. This is a problem with the modern age. Stalin was a right fascist. In other words, after some analyzing, it appears to be the case that Stalinism is closer to fascism than we understood to be the Jewish communism or Trotskyism. With this in mind, Hitler's critique of Soviet communism is outdated. Correct? No, all communists are incompatible with fascism, and none of them have adopted views close to fascism in capacity. Stalin's cringe in the story. I genuinely do not know. I mean, they are related. They require huge amounts of power of the state, and usually throwing away God and religion that worship the state. There. It's just a matter of how they go about it and what the end goal is for. It also depends if we're going with Italian fascism or German National Socialism, because still socialism, which is similar to communism. Like, and it was a Jewish rebellion with the Soviet Union, with Stalin. So, it appears to be the case that Stalin's close to fascism than we understood to be Jewish communism or Trotskyism. Both? Like, it's an, like, once again, maybe I'm just like showing my ignorance here, but like, it is, I guess, is it closer to fascism than we understood to be Jewish communism? Okay. I don't think all communists are compatible with fascism. But Stalin is cringe. I guess I'll go I genuinely do not know. I'm moving on here. Fascism also generally produces the race traditional values above merit and relies force to shut down opposition. Like, yeah. Which I do actually prefer meritocracy. Like, my ideal system would be a thing that prioritizes race and traditional values and meritocracy at once. It is a nation specifically made for, in this case, white people that promote traditional values, but also in the workforce has the best man for the job and not based off what connections he has. Because the whole entire idea of the state is for the benefit of the people. And the people do need it doesn't need a shit ton of government. They need to be relatively free, which I know because it's fascism in itself, right? But you do need a strong government to protect these, or else you're going to have your Jewish subverters that are going to, sue you, not actually understanding anything about it. As it own, like return to the land, right? Like, you need a strong government to protect you, but also give you the freedom to grow and actually use the meritocracy, but only for white people to have white families. That's my ideal. There. Anglos are the real Jews? What the fuck? And they're the real arbiters of Aryan culture? They're not the real... No, they're not the real Jews. Fuck you. They are definitely different than mainland Europeans, but like, they're not... No, fuck you. God had in our prophet, his name was William Dudley Pelly. I don't know who that is, so I'm gonna say no. Abrahamic religions, Christianity including Catholicism and Islam, are incompatible with true fascism or National Socialism, paganism, or blood relative Hinduism are only religion. Oh, no. We're not gonna let Hinduism in here. Fuck you. I see the brown hands typing this. Not to mention, fascism is a white ideology. Christianity is a white religion. Get out of here. Democracy is fully compatible with fascism as long as every single liberal ailment that is generally associated with removed fascism is true democracy. No. Fascism is the state. Power, complete power. Who were the first Aryans? Not the Indians. The white Indo-Europeans from the Pontiac Steppe. I don't care if fascism is not racial. Who can say for sure? I'm agnostic to this matter. Well, not the Indians, so I'm gonna go with the white Indo-Europeans. American fascism should be Anglo-centric, yes. National socialism or fascism should be concerned itself with the establishment of new Hyperborea. Hey yo, hey yo, chat. We're bringing back Hyperborea here. National socialism or fascism should concern itself with the establishment of a new Hyperborea that is back to the roots of paganism. I emphasize the pagan aspect. No. Christianity, for all its flaws, is still a very closely European. Here, nope. I know paganism is too, to be fair. But you cannot deny that for hundreds of years after the Rome fell has not shaped Europe into what we are today without the power of Christianity. Race in its relation to the fascism and National Socialism does not develop other races, but seeks to improve the race that carries either political perspective. In this sense, racism, as we understand it, carries different definitions than the modern one. Yes and no, none. Yes, and I do not devalue other races. No, true fascism is non-racial. Yes, but I devalue other races when appropriate. No, I'm very racist even to the modern standard, and I want to isolate my race from other inferior ones completely with my nation state. Yep, that's me. Get the fuck out of here, nuns. Go back to your country. I know who Oswald Mosley is, and I agree with him the most as a fascist. I recognize the name, but I don't know what he stands for. So I'm gonna go with I don't know who he is. Yeah. I ascribe to Winling Dudley Pelly's concept of Christian Commonwealth, and I see the civil religion in America as the greatest and most necessary form of fascism. Well, the Christian Commonwealth, based off those two terms, does sound pretty nice. The Silver Legion, from the little bit I looked into from the memes on stream, looks pretty good, and it's pro-America. I'm not sure if I would say the greatest or most necessary form of fascism, but I am not against it, so I guess I'll say yes. The phrase Nazi Maoism is appealing to me as a fascist. Mao is in it, so no. I am fully aware of Mussolini's foreign policy towards certain Slavs, Siberians, and other Eastern Europeans under the right of Italy. I've come to the conclusion that Mussolini was devout racist, non-racist fascist. Mussolini was a racist in certain aspects. Just kidding, I'm not aware of anything on the subject. I have no opinion to back up because I do not know. I mean, this fits me a little bit better because I don't know what Mussolini's holy policy on certain Slavs and stuff like that. I don't know his opinion on them, I'll be honest. I can only guess based off the little bits and pieces that I do know. Yeah. Let's see. As a fascist, I am more syndicalist than corporatist on the subject of economics. Syndicalism is better a form of socialism than corporatism, the latter being part of Italian model which I critique. Yes, I'm a syndicalist. No, I'm a corporatist. I have another view of socialism for fascism as a syndicalist or corporatist. I'm a radical slave socialist with esoteric leanings. That's not a biased answer, whatever. Okay, let me look up what a syndicalist is. Syndicalist is a proponent of labor movement that seeks to abolish capitalism in the state, placing control of the economy directly towards the hands of the workers. So, communist. Instead of relying on political parties to achieve these goals through trade unions and direct action such as strikes. Okay, so I would not say I'm a syndicalist. Yeah. I mean, but if we're going for a better form of socialism than corporatism, yeah, it would be actually. Okay, no, I'm a corporatist then. Yeah. Okay. It's an Italian version? Okay. So it's a commie. Yeah, this is why I wrote. I was like, so it's just communism. Okay. Heinrich Himmler's version of or perspective of National Socialism was slightly more appropriate than Adolf Hitler's. I'm aware of the slight nuances in their views, and I can say I agree more with Himmler's esotericism than Hitler's pragmatism. Yes, no, Hitler's overall view was much more appropriate. I'm a fascist, not a National Socialist, so I'm non-racial. I'm not particularly here about this. I do not know. Hey, chat, so I'm a grifter. I'm a LARPer. I'm not actually a Nazi, believe it or not. And I don't read books. I don't know the differences between Hitler and Himmler's perspective of National Socialism. I think if I'm correct, isn't Himmler's more racist, like based on racial lines? From my bits and pieces of knowledge that I have. We can tell. Or is it the opposite here? No. No, Hitler's the head of the SS. No. This click you did not know. I just want, okay, fine. Fine. I just wanted some answers out of curiosity. Yeah. Himmler was fucking weird? Okay, what was Himmler's thing? I kind of want to know. This voice shook my head. Listen, once again, I'm a simple creature, okay? I just want white America for, European descents that have built this country that came before 1965 Hart-Celler Act. I want the nuns. I want the blacks to go to Liberia. The rest of the nuns go back to their home country. I want women back in the households. And that's it. That's literally my stance on, like, basically everything. Himmler was a traitor. Himmler was much more interested in the racialism than Hitler. See, like, that would be my thing, because I am racist. Here. This is why Mal needs a man, yeah. How long do you have? I mean, just can you give me, like, a TLD or, like, a summary here? Like, just kind of... He kind of like the Indians. Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say I don't know, because that's the honest answer there, but, no Indians here, okay? Islam and Volkish religions are more stable religions than Christianity when it concerns fascism or National Socialism. Yes, no, I'm not a Muslim, but I respect for Islam and acknowledge its compatibility with my politics. I refuse to answer either because I have no opinion, I do not know, or I do not care about this. I mean, okay. Technically, it depends on what you mean with Christianity here. Because Christianity, before it got neutered after Vatican II, was pretty hardline in various aspects and had rules and regulations. And we're talking about brand new modern Christianity. It's a fucking wet sock and actually useless when it comes to fascism because you need the power of the state, right? It's all about power and control. And Christianity would not help you with this. Islam would actually be better. However, fascism is still a Western European concept. Same with Christianity as a Western religion. So, and they actually can't be compatible together if you go with old versions of Christianity. So, I'm going to say no, just based on the fact that the new version of Christianity is the neutered version, the commified version of the modern ages. You don't need to know what other people believe to know what you believe. The name drop just comes up here as a purity test. Well, it kind of does matter for, like, me in particular because, like, I stream politics, right? That's my bread and butter. Like, it is politics. So me actually being knowledgeable about the different forms of fascism and communism and everything else in between would actually probably help my stream quality and just my content creation quality significantly here, right? Other than just kind of yapping in the void. The issue is, one, I'm lazy, and two, like, because I believe what I believe, I kind of don't really, like, I get the points, but I'm not really interested in it. And when I'm not interested, it makes it really kind of hard to, like, well, read about it and pay attention. Because to me, it doesn't really matter what system we have. I just want my ideals to be achieved, or as close as possible. So if that takes fascism, then great. It's not gonna be communism, I know that for a fact already. If that takes, capitalism, sure, go ahead, right? If that takes democracy, which I know it's not gonna work either, then go ahead, right? Like, I don't really care what the system is. I don't care about the terms. I just want the results. And I will advocate for whatever the results are, like whatever the system is, or the process to get there, to get those results. There. But that's me being lazy, like my lazy racism, right? I just care about the color swatch. Physiognomy is actually pretty interesting and quite funny, but for me, I just get the color swatch out, and then that determines, or at the nose, right? That's when the nose really, like, the physiognomy really matters, is with the nose. But other than that, I just get the color swatch out, because that's all I can really care about. You need a good foundation, Well, I would agree with that. Maybe one day, sometime never. Why do we call the whole world's attention to the fact that we have no past? Isn't it enough that the Romans were erecting Greek buildings when our forefathers were still living in mud huts? Now Himmler is scrolling. Now Himmler is starting to dig up these villages of mud huts and enthusiasm ever pots heard and stone axe he finds. All we prove is that we are still throwing stone hatches and crouching around open fires when Greece and Rome had already reached the highest stage of culture. Hitler? Question mark? Okay. Yeah, that's not a good thing. I know he's meaning like the tribal barbarians that came in there. But like they were still much more advanced than Africa was during that time period. So I think he's been a little bit too harsh, but I get where he's trying to go with this. There. Let's just say you're a Western woman that's fighting for the preservation of Western kind and be done with it. See, that's the closest. However, we're like a little over halfway through this test, so I'll continue it. Just out of curiosity at this point, where I would land with my ignorance. Save the monarchy, preserve the monarchy, and keep it alongside fascism. Indifferent. I don't really care. When I say I want a fascist democracy, I mean I do not want occasional voting. I mean that I do want occasional voting and not just some voting. And I do not see true democracy as a consequence of totalitarian rule under dictatorship of the state workers. I want voting in my fascist democracy. I'm just anti-democratic entirely at this point. Our political party should be elitist, meaning that it should not be mandatory to make every last member of society part of our party. Otherwise, we lower the standards of our party, and by bringing in those whose views could be contrary to us among the risks. Yes, no, I want mass movement. This can be done with compulsory membership. The party eventually, I'm indifferent. Yeah, yes, you need the elites. It's only a small amount of people that ever has any great amount of influence that ever happens, and you can't have the lowest common denominator. And if you actually want any change or power to be taken done. I use the SS as a model for my politics. Yes, extremely so. Not entirely. I say it's a National Socialist fascist. No, I say it's a fascist. National Socialist is real fascism. Anyways, classical fascists are left comms of our movement. They deracinate fascism without realizing it, and to our great detriment, by mischaracterizing fascism and National Socialism. They lie about Mussolini, pretending that he's a wholesome non-racist, and believe the mainstream narrative about Hitler was just vulgar and ridiculous. Okay, let me reread that again. Classical fascists are the left line of the movement. They deracinate fascism without realizing. Yes, also the German view of race is better than Italians. Yes, also the Italian view of race is better than Germany's. Yes, both Italy's and Germany's views of race were equally appropriate by the year 1945. I don't know the differences, I'll be completely honest. I just want whichever one's the most racist. Yes, both Italy and Germany were fine, but the racial views should be undertaken a more evolving concept of race to the point with completely addressing all of people's criticism of racialism on both Hitler and Mussolini's regimes. No, Mussolini was a non-racial fascist. Hitler was not a real fascist because of his racism. I don't know. I don't have an answer to this. Okay, so Hitler was a racist, so therefore German view is better. That's simple here. Evolian's ultra racism of base. I've only read one Evolian book, and I do not remember any of it, I'll be honest. There. My synthesis between monarchy and fascism has no room for democracy in nearly any sense of the term. Correct, incorrect. I say this as a fascist monarchist. I do not synthesize fascism and monarchy, so this point does not apply with me. I don't necessarily synthesize fascism and monarchy, but I don't see that how it cannot be completely incompatible. So I guess... But I don't like democracy, so correct. Freedom is liberty from the enslavement of the bourgeois economy, from the mercantile plutocracy. The statement needs to be the driving force over fascism, even if it means that we overlap into the realism of communism or a certain interpretation of communism. No. I have admiration for the structure that existed within the Teutonic Knights to such a degree that I wish to shape political order along similar lines. This particular does not have sway the religious likelihood of the test taker one way or the other. The main focus has to do with traditionalism almost along religious lines with that lack thereof. The religious perspective of the actual original Teutonic Knights, but no rebels here. I recognize the name, but I don't really know what they're about. But aren't they actually Christian? And were they part of the... No, I'm not gonna say that because I'm always sounding an idiot. But... here... I'm gonna say... yes? Yes. Maybe I should say I don't know. That would be the more honest answer. I'm gonna say yes. Code word overload. That's how I feel. This is made for autists. And I'm not autistic enough for this, okay? If you went for compulsory membership of the party, you get a lot of traitors, like what happened after Franco died. Actually, that's a fair point. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about weakening the party. There. The SS aesthetics are epic. It still hits hard in the spot in the 2026. It was outlawed for now, at least. 100% agree. They're so hot. Like, I would vote for the SS. I support the SS just because they're hot white men in uniform. Well, that's the old Reese talking. I bear some influence from Sergei, Taboritsky. I don't know who he is. So, indifference. The birth of material and quantitative science relates to the causes profoundly rooted in certain limits of theological formulations of Latin Christianity. This demonstrates that the unlimited and blind application of science in the West is due to the fact that Christianity is religion without a sacred law. Actually, I would... do I agree? Because I'm trying to not conflate modern Christianity with old original Christianity. But you cannot deny it has evolved throughout the past 1,000 years now. And it was able to become modern due to its own self. Like, the flaws are kind of already within the religion. I don't mean this as a way to bash Christianity. But there's a reason why Islam is still backwards and incompatible with the West, because it hasn't actually evolved with the time. Because Christianity has evolved with liberalism, and liberalism evolved with Christianity. They're rooted intrinsic within each other. And I mean, it has the 10 Commandments, but that's from the Old Testament. It has Jesus fulfilling everything, but it doesn't have the same hard line that Islam does with these various things. But it also could be the cultural difference about it too, plus the fact that Islam can you die a lot in it. So also, like, what form of Christianity are we talking about? Because there's, even in 1945, there was Catholicism, there was Protestantism, and its different branches of Lutheranism and Baptism, the Anglicanism and everything else. Like, you're gonna like, what branch of Christianity you're talking about now? You also got your Orthodoxy too, at least in the East. Like, there's a lot going on down there here. So I agree with the guy who implied a Gnostic wrote this question. I mean, possible. 10 Commandments on the base, yeah, like, it does have a secret law, but you can look at Christianity and see how we got to where we are within it, and the influence liberalism has within as well. But that's because of also Christianity. Like, they're with each other. So the birth of material and quantitative sciences relates to the causes profoundly rooted in certain limits of theological formulation of Christianity. Trace that unlimited blind application of science in the West is due to the fact. Well, that's kind of it. But I'm gonna say indifferent. This is too convoluted for my pea brain here. So Thank you, Jackals of Terra Argenteum, for the $5 dues. Thank you. American democracy worked when the franchise wasn't universal. Universal voting rights destroys any government or nation so afflicted. I would technically kind of agree with that, but the problem is it's just the evolution of democracy. It's just its fate to turn into this. And so it's the end result of all democracies to go into universal and be destroyed within itself. So you might as well get rid of democracy completely because it's not sustainable over a long period of time. It has a really short shelf life. There. I'm against private property in totality, as well as private land ownership. No. Even if both these things work them under state control, the one private aspects are irrelevant. That approach is not enough. All land that could potentially be called private in one form or another should be made public in every conceivable way. This does not include something like pencils, mugs, or what? No, get the fuck out of here. I don't want the government. In order to bring about genuine revolution capable of setting the foundations for which fascism can grow upon, we have to either inspire an intense violent revolution, disavow, or commit one ourselves, disavow. In order for things to get better, things need to get worse, and I support the ideal of bringing our liberal society to a state of being worse so it can collapse in case of liberationism. Thus, making room for myself and comrades to come in, take over, and implement our politics. In a sense, I'm an accelerationist. Yes, and I will do this. Yes, but I will not do this because I do not have to. It's happening on its own. I disagree, but some violence will be necessary during democratic route to power. Disagree fully. I'm particularly indifferent to the arguably black and white issue. I refuse to answer. I mean, I understand the sentiment of accelerationists, and I do like to dabble it from time to time because it's like a phoenix, right? You have to rise from the ashes. I don't really think we're gonna really get our solution here, but I don't want to actively make things worse. I don't want to become like Rhodesia and Zimbabwe. Like, there's no real voting our way out of this. That's the problem with it. So, yes. Also for legal reasons as well. Anyways. No act, even if one not expressly stated, of an injurious and thus criminal nature to be popular order of the state will escape punishment. Penalties will consist of forced labor. For the most grave crimes against the popular order of the state and public property, the death penalty will be expected. Based? Something akin to the good luck system come to mind. Okay. When it comes to such people, I use the Red East as my inspiration for this in particular. That last... For fuck's sakes, that last line killed it. Yes. No to only last sentence. Even so, I'm okay with enslaving such criminals in such capacity. Yep. If we're not going to give them the death penalty, then we can at least get some cheap labor off of them. There. Almost done here. I want slave labor as part of a state socialism. I don't necessarily think that we should enslave random people or innocent people in general, but those who are among the dregs of society, among the lowest caste, after being judged properly in accordance with their character, that seems like a slippery slope, should be placed into a state of servitude for the greater good. Otherwise, they should be free, quote unquote. Society is at risk of having incompetent people in positions that are above their intelligence or abilities. Hitleritarian concentration camps, Stalinist gulags, these are the things that did not take slave socialism far enough. What? I want to enslave the minds of those otherwise incapable people as well as their bodies for their own good and the good of my race of the people. Yes, no. But I'm not against labor camps akin to what existed in Germany or in some aspects of Russia. I want no labor camps, period. People who commit crimes should go to jail. But I do not believe that certain people are meant for slavery. If you can believe it, I'm completely indifferent to the subject entirely. No, I guess? Because, like, I don't want a whole, like, slave state and everything like that. But if I do think people who are sent to jail for heinous crimes, if they're not going to get the death penalty, should be used for the free labor. And like, less fun stuff. Instead of having the cushy little, like, 3 meals a day and a warm bed to sleep in. There. Like, might as well use them for something if they're going to be going to jail. Like, but I'm not, well, for the record, okay, labor camps akin to existed in Germany or Russia is a bit too far for me as well. Okay, I'm just kind of stuck within a rock and a hard place here. Disavow. I adopt the caste system as it described in the earliest Vedic scriptures because I think it's a good model for seeing socialism. We're back to the brown hands typing this. As long as socialism is never betrayed. At the very bottom are the people who cannot be trusted and they rule other than slavery. I take this to the furthest extreme to support my esoteric leanings. Yes, not against traditionalism, but I do not ascribe this particularly intense and extreme view. Just, no. As a non-racist, a classical fascist, I disagree with all forms of labor camps inside regular prison. I mean, I'm not against traditionalism, but yeah, this is a pretty particularly extreme view. I'm gonna go with this answer. Okay. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. What's my results? What do you think my results are? Isolationist fascist, dogmatically nationalist. You reject the anti-nationalist and post-nationalist perspective of Hitler, Mussolini, Francis Parker Yockey, Oswald Mosley, Pierre Doriot La Rochelle, and others who sought to create fascist empire and staunch nationalism, at least with adherence with socialism to the nation. Such fascists do not want empire, but just their nation is all they care about. They are a fringe group within fascism. I can't say that's literally my stance. I already knew it was a little bit of an isolationist as it was. Like, I've always admitted that I am an isolationist for most things. I understand as the old hegemon we can't exactly be that, but that's generally where my leanings go towards. Okay, what's the other things? Fascist / National Socialist monarchy, Burgundian system, esoteric National Socialism, 61%, National Socialism, 55%. See? You see that leftist? You see that fucking leftist on blue sky? Even though you don't know who I am, because a literal who? I'm not actually a Nazi. I'm only 55% for a Nazi. I'm still gonna send Jews to the labor camp, though. Pragmatic fascism leaning towards Mussolini, 51%. Modern classical fascism, 41%. Esoteric Hitlerism, 36%. Democratic fascism, Oswald Mosley style, 32%. Nazi Maoism, 31%. I don't know most of the differences between these, okay? So, I'm happy with my result, okay? For someone as ignorant and as I am, who doesn't read the fucking books, I'm pretty happy with that. With my results. I don't care if it's a fringe group within fascism, okay? Literally, as I said multiple times before, all I just want is a nation for my people and only for my people so we can prosper and be happy and exist. Like, it's that simple, okay? It's a fantasy, it's not realistic at all, but goddamn, can a girl dream? Only 55% friendship windmill enjoyer. Hold on, let me take a screenshot of this. That way I can prove it. That I'm really, truly not actually, a Nazi. I'm only 55%, okay? Only 31%, Nazi mouse only unsubbing. You are an Anglo. I would hope that you're not. I hope you're not studying over this. You failed the history test F. What can I say? Believe it or not, I was actually the best at history within my class, and I knew more than my peers. But that's very small denominator there. Though I did go to a private school and AP classes and all that fun stuff. So I actually, it was a college prep school. So technically, it's a good sample size for the normies, but not for the actual history bros there. I'd rather have an empire than just my nation, but I understand the isolation perspective since I used to be one. The empire would be more beneficial to the nation for the short term, but the long run is just too expensive and out of control. It will fall apart and that will destroy itself. Not like the isolationist is really long term either, because if you don't take over other people, they're going to take over you, but what can I say? I'm a woman, okay? So I'm probably less than most on Blue Sky, actually. True. So chat, is this a good result? Are you happy with my results? Even though I don't know jack shit about basically the subject in itself. There. I'm genuinely curious what you guys think, because you guys are way more knowledgeable about this stuff than I am, right? You guys are the experts. And at the end of the day, I am a grifter, and I want to make sure that I'm appealing to my audience correctly. And so if I'm not, you know, if I'm not doing my job well, then we gotta fix that. We gotta fix that here. It was a better result than I was expecting. Okay, I'll take that. It's a good result. Nice. Okay, so I'm obviously doing a good job here then. Blood, soil, and steel. I can get it down for that a little bit to a you know, just a little bit here. Ain't bad, could have been better, but you'll learn. What could be better than isolationist? like I said, I'm genuinely curious about this, though I'm not gonna do any research myself. But that's, you know, yeah. Did good for a fight. Well, thank you. I'm glad my instincts and knowledge that I already kind of had is enough for me to kind of like figure this out, right? As I do like to use context clues. Yeah, I don't know jack shit about the subject, but I do know a little bit here and there, and I do have my principles. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I can kind of pierce things together. Peace, love and peace. Piece things together to kind of figure the different things out here. Monarchist, sorry, you're not gonna get that from me anytime soon. Okay, listen, you know how women just copy whatever their boyfriends believe in, right? Okay, so when I was with the Russian, he was a staunch monarchist, and I was already, you know, like I was against I had the same position that I have now. I was against democracy, but I didn't like monarchy, and I didn't know what a system to actually replace it with, essentially. And he could never convince me. So listen, if the Russian, you know, wasn't able to convince me, I'm just saying you're probably not going to convince me either at this point in time. So, you know, I was not a good girlfriend in the sense of copying my beliefs from the boyfriend. I already had my beliefs already made at that point. From watching Sargon, my true boyfriend. There. Germany is in front of us, Germany marches with us, and Germany lives behind us. Ah, I see here. Okay, chat. I really gotta pee. So, I'm gonna be sending you off here. Kick Bros, I'm sending you over to Kirsha. YouTube Bros, I'm sending you over to Nanis. Rumble Bros, you're stuck in the cuck chair. Cause I mean that's you need to keep it warm somehow after all. Don't get too comfy with the raids there. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. EST for Under the Bridge with V. We will be having a guest tomorrow. And then I'll be in the Archcast. And then I will stream at 7:45 or 8 p.m. It kind of depends on when the Archcast gets done, you know, but I try to do it then. And then probably a game stream. Because we haven't done one this week, but you know, we'll see. We'll see how the cookie crumbles. So tomorrow will be a very busy day. Very busy day. So catch me around. Thank you all the sub puppies, donuts, and big spankings. You guys are very kind and generous today. Thank you. And remember just to follow the rules of wherever I'm sending you to. Don't be gay. We don't want the gays here. And good night. Hasta la vista. Bye. Hey. Hitler.
I mean, hey, if Pac-Man affected us as kids, we'd all be munching magic pills and listening to repetitive electronic music, am I right?